must have not given a try because it did not work out the first time, or there was something wrong, and then you must have just given up saying that, okay, this is not my cup of tea. I was the person who actually went into that first. So I started working with resin. I just watched a couple of videos and I was very interested because like uncle said, I am a graphic designer and I am in the creative field for quite a long time. So learning different art and using it in terms of my business, or using it in terms of giving information to other people, is something that I like. So I ventured into this learning and deep diving into resin art. That's where I learned that you can do a lot of stuff. Okay, so I started off with making basic alphabet keychains. So I have a few here. So just to show you, I started off with alphabet keychains. Okay, so you have different colors and you have sequins, and you can be creative. All right, so there is no right or wrong way in working with resin. So that's one good thing about resin. There's no right or wrong way. You just need to have the correct proportions, and you like have what you want. Okay, so I gave my first try, which was this coaster. I started off with this coaster. So my sister was getting married, and they wanted to give a giveaway. They just didn't want to do anything. They wanted something customized, and they were looking at options. So that's when I proposed to them that we can do something like that. Okay, so now what you see on the screen is basically a coaster. Okay, I've just put white acrylic on top, I've put pink acrylic down, and I've put some gold leaves in the center, and I've put the text around. So this is what I had offered them. Okay, and they didn't want coasters because, as you can see, this is a Bible verse. So coasters are used to keep glasses, mugs, and they did not want to keep a coaster because it had Bible verse. So they canned the idea of having the coaster. We could also put a magnet on the backside, and we could make this as a fridge magnet because this is quite compact, as you can see. Okay, so there's not one thing that you can do. You can do multiple things. We ended up actually making a tea light candle stand instead. Okay, and this is how it looks. So we've made this complete candle stand with resin. We've added some glitter over here. Okay, and I picked this up from some shop wherein we've got this Christmassy theme. You can say this acorn and this acorn and all these stuff. So we got this Christmas themed flowers from the shop, and we made this candle stand, and they were quite happy with the output, and we had this as the final giveaways. So we also made this nice cute little box where you can see, they had their theme color in it. So basically we just brainstormed, we tried a couple of options, and this is what we arrived at. Okay, so you can always give it a try for resin. You can always try and you can see what you want. All right, talking about resin is basically a kind of a liquid. So it has two parts. One is part A and part B. So I use this brand, and this is the most commonly used brand. It's called Epoxy Art Resin. Okay, and I have a part A, and this is the part B. All right, easily available on Amazon, so you can go and you can find this out on Amazon. This is the bigger bottle. You get the trial pack, the smaller versions. I think the smaller bottle is around 300 grams, and that will cost you around 600 rupees. So yeah, you could always go on Amazon, you can pick it up. Okay, so this is the resin that I use. So the bigger bottle has the resin, and the smaller bottle has the hardener. That's how you term it. This is part A and part B. And this is in the ratio of 3:1. So if you can see my screen. Okay, so this is a ratio of 3:1, and it has this auto bubble release feature, and it has high gloss. Okay, so the most commonly used brand is Epoxy, and the most commonly used one is this art resin that we use. Okay, so you can make coasters, you can make earrings, you can make keychains, you can make bookmarks. There are an n number of opportunities that you can do with resin. Like I said, it's up to you, and it's up to your creativity what you'd like to do. Okay. Uh, does anyone have a question? I think I can hear someone. Okay, so I'll move forward. This is one type of resin that I'm showing you, the commonly used one. Okay, there is another type of resin which you use, which is a 1:1 ratio. Okay, again that, so in resin also you have a few resin which you can use and make spoons. Okay, for instance, you can make plates. They are food grade safe, so you can use resin in food. I mean, not in food. You can use resin as plates where you can have food from it, but it has a cure time. So now this resin that I use, it cures over a period of 24 hours. Okay, so it takes one full day to cure. Okay, so by 10 hours, we'll see that the resin has begin to set. All right, and after 10 hours, like say around 24 hours, is the time when it actually becomes hard. Okay, so resin, I'll show you an example of the resin and how we work with it. So I'm going to show you a practical section. This is one of the coasters that I have made. As you can see, I've added this gold trim around it, and this is one of the resin coasters that I have made. It's pretty simple. As you can see, I've just used white and I've used gray, and given that marble effect. So it looks pretty. It doesn't look bad. All right. Yeah. This is another one that I have made. So I've used dried pressed flowers. All right. So there are different types of flowers. You get dried flowers, you get dried pressed flowers. So for this one, I've used the pressed flowers because they are flat. As you can see, these flowers are flat. And I've used a few gold foil to accentuate the look. Okay. Uh, I know Valentine's Day is coming soon, and I kind of worked on this cute little heart coaster. Okay, so again, this is completely resin. All right, this is completely resin. What I have done is I've created this resin heart that is created separately with the sequins that you can see. Then I've dropped in some white color at the base. I've let that dry. All right, so now this fellow took me more than a day. Okay, because I had the heart that was setting in for a day. Sorry, someone saying something?
When you're going, tell me, no?
Okay, so for this one, I had the heart resin created separately. So that took around 24 hours to set. Then I created this white layer at the back, as you can see. This has two layers. All right, so the white layer took 24 hours to set. So I put my heart, I dropped in the white resin, let that set. Once that was set, I have given it a top coat of a clear finish. So as you can see from here, I have this clear finish. Okay, so this is one of the resin coasters that I have made for Valentine's Day, basically. This is another coaster. So there are different types of colors that are compatible. I'm not sure if you're able to see this very well. Okay, so this is another coaster that I have created. You can see that this artwork has a lot of glitter in it. Okay, because that is a different kind of a color that I have used. So yeah, this is the output of this. I'm going to explain about colors and just showing you the work that I have done so far so that you have a little idea when I speak about the colors. Okay, now with resin, you don't really have all colors that are compatible with resin. You can use acrylic colors, you can use your normal acrylic colors. So I have tested it with the normal acrylic colors that I have, which is with Fevicryl colors. So this is something that you easily get available at any stationery shop. I have tried using this. So the first coaster which I showed you, the pink one, I have used the acrylic colors over here because back then I did not want to invest in any other colors for specifically for resin because I didn't know how well it would go. So I used acrylic colors. It did not turn out that bad, but the colors doesn't mix. So I'm not sure if you're able to see it pretty well, but it gives you this patchy effect. Okay, so the colors do not mix very well with resin, and it settles down and it has this patchy effect. So that is not something that you want in your final output. So if you're looking at resin, even for your decoration purpose, or even for something that you would like to do as simple as, making any wedding favors for your family or making it for a friend, it's better you invest in good colors, not use the Fevicryl acrylic colors because they don't mix very well. Okay. That's one thing I learned about it. I still use it in smaller projects, but then I'm still not very happy with how they mix with the resin. They do not mix very well, and they settle down at the bottom, which gives you very bad effect on your resin overall. Okay, so talking about colors, you get these colors that are specifically for resin. Okay, so they are called as pigment colors. All right. So you can see you have two or three different types of colors. One is this pigment color. So when you mix a pigment color, it will give you the actual original color, but you need to ensure that you do not pour a lot of drops because resin is not very good with water. Okay. So if you add anything that has a lot of water content in resin, it is not going to, so it will mix, but it is not going to set into a hard into how a resin should actually set. Okay, so because of which we use these colors that are very resin friendly. So pigment color is one of them. If you want to give a dark color to your resin art, you can go in for pigment colors. The next one is going to be alcohol ink. Okay, so alcohol ink is very good to have a transparent effect. Okay, so when you mix colors with resin, you're going to have this like if you have a black color, it will just take over your project. All right, like the resin coaster that I showed you with the flowers. So it's not see through. Now when I know Josephine had spoken about the beach coaster that is quite common with resin. I think a lot of resin artists are promoting the beach coasters or the beach theme that they are working on. Okay, so for that you'll be using alcohol ink. Okay, now what's basically what alcohol ink does is it gives you this transparent look. So I think you can see my finger right behind this. Okay, so alcohol ink will give you this lovely transparent look. So it will look almost as if you're working with water, with actual water. Okay, we don't really have this blue water over here, but then yeah, this looks like water from Maldives. Okay, and yeah, so alcohol ink will just create this transparent effect where you can see the water. You can add in whatever you want. So this was again a second try, but I'm not very happy with this because of which I've not given it a top coating yet. So I've added sand, I've added some shells, I've added this layer of water. I let it dry and then I added my wave on top of it, but unfortunately my wave went all haywire. But yes, I'll be giving it another try for this coaster. I'm not very disappointed with it because I'm happy with the way it looks, but I'm still not achieving that wave 100% because of which I'm little upset with this. Okay. We've created this. All right. So now this was created during Christmas. I wanted a charm to hang on my Christmas tree. I created this. Now, everything that I show you has a mold. Okay. So I have invested in silicone molds and I'm going to take you through the molds as well. So talking about colors first, this again, I've used an alcohol ink because of which you can see this is transparent. All right. You can see through and it gives you a very good look overall. All right, and it is pretty hard. So this is something that won't break. So it's not glass, but it is pretty hard. And even if you drop it, I'm sure it will not break because it has a very good adhesive. So resin is basically a type of an adhesive, and once it's dry, this is what you get. Okay. So any questions so far? Then I'll take you with the other process. Any questions so far on the resin and on anything that I have shown you so far?
Yes. How do you obtain the coaster?
Yes. So I'm going to show you my different molds that I have and the coasters as well. Okay, so to start off with, these are my coaster silicone molds. All right, I have 4 of these. All right, so basically, this first one is called a geogod mode. I'm not sure if you're able to see this on the screen.
What was the word you used? Geo?
This I picked up from Amazon, obviously. Okay, then the second one is this. So this is a circular mode. All right, and so you get this kind of a coaster with it, the circular one. All right. So if you're looking at coasters only, I would say invest in a simple one that is without the geoboard, and invest in another one which is the geoboard, because if you're looking at creating only coasters, you need both of them. They give you different output, so it's better to have both the silicon molds. Okay, so this I picked it up from my vendor, and that one I picked it up from Amazon. uh, just note that Amazon is going to charge you a few bucks more. As you're aware, Amazon basically gives small business an opportunity to host their products on the website. If you go out, you will get it at a cheaper rate. I have a vendor, okay, who provides all these kind of stuff, silicon molds and everything at a cheaper rate. So in case if you're looking at, even giving it a try or something like that, you can check it on Amazon. If you think that, it's better of picking it from Amazon, please go ahead. If you think you want it at a little lesser rate, you can contact me with whatever molds you want or something. I can check it with the vendor and I can get it for you. Okay, so this is my heart mold. I showed you the Valentine's Day coaster that I was making. So this is my heart mold that I have. This has this cut in it. Okay, so it gives you a very good shaped heart. All right. This is my mold for the tea light. Okay, so this is how it looks. You need to pour your raisin in. So what I have done is I had dropped in some the gold bits that you saw on the tea light holder. I dropped in some gold stones over here. I dropped in some transparent raisin into it,
Can
and
you
then
just put it a little higher and taking a screenshot? Yeah,
oh
thank you.
sure, yeah,
Thank you.
no worries. Okay, so you need to drop in the gold wherever you want, okay, and cover it with a transparent raisin layer. Okay, now what that does is, if you have any other color, like I've used white, okay, so the white will mix with your gold and it will not give you a very good effect. Okay, so it's better that if you're putting any stones inside, cover it with a layer of transparent raisin first, and then you cover it with your colored raisin later. That's what I did, and that was my approach. So this is the mold for the tea light holder. Okay, again, you'll get this off on Amazon. It's not difficult. You get another couple of variety of molds. Okay, so this is one of them, and this, I think this goes, you can use it in many different places. So this was something that I invested in. Okay, and this is my mold for uh, the charm that I showed you, the raisin charm that I showed you. Okay, for people who are taking photos, this is how it looks. Okay, so this is my snowflake mold that I have, and it's pretty big. You can use it as an ornament on your tree, or you can probably, make something else. Creativity is, I mean, whatever you think you can use it for, you can obviously use it for that. So yeah, you can go wild with your imagination. Okay. Uh, for the keychains, I actually have a bigger mold. I've cut it into smaller pieces because what is happening is I've noticed after using it a couple of times, I need to use so the mold was quite big. It was like a 12-inch by I think 7 or 8 inch long. Um, so while using it, I noticed that, my silicone was turning white. Okay, that means so over a period of time when you're using your silicone molds, it is going to have its wear and tear. Okay, so you need to take good care of your molds if you want it to last longer. Okay, and they're not cheap. The silicone molds are not cheap. So uh, I just thought that, I chop it up into smaller pieces where it is easy for me to fill in the alphabets and easy for me to cover it. Okay, so again, covering, the concept of covering, I'm going to explain it to you later. So yeah, this is my alphabet molds. Obviously there's A to Z and there's 1 to 0. I've chopped it up into smaller pieces. Okay, another thing that I've invested in is a couple of these molds. Okay, so they're basically earrings. All right, so these are something that you can create earrings with. Uh, you get a lot of options if you go on Amazon. You get a lot of options, and obviously, if you look into different websites or different shopping sites, you get a lot of options. These are the for starters. I've just taken these just to see how they turn out. Okay, and I have invested in another thing for silicone. This is like it has hearts and stars. Okay, why I bought these stuffs are there are times when you make a batch of raisin and you have a lot of raisin remaining. Okay, so you can use these stuffs to create
You're frozen, Yvonne. We can't hear.
She's lost her network.
Yeah, I think so.
2 minutes. I'll try to get her back.
I can always, this is my tassel that I use for the keychain. These are some charms that I use. These are some charms that I have bought online or bought from my vendor, the raisin guy. Okay. So there are a couple of things how you want your final output to be looking like. There are a couple of things you can, probably invest in. Okay. So any questions so far? I've
Ma'am?
shown you the molds. Yeah.
I would like to ask, like, can you make words out of resin?
Words.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So it depends on what words you want. Okay. And so you can make alphabets like I have shown you. All right. You can make these individual alphabets. So these are a couple of alphabets that I have made. Can make individual alphabets, okay, and make your sentence out of it. So these are these size. My mold is a keychain mold, so that's the reason why you can see they're quite small. Okay, you get alphabet molds that are like I think around this big. You have these big alphabet molds. So I think they're around 10-inch or 12, not 12-inch. I think they're around 8 to 10-inch. I'm not too sure, but I did notice these molds in my raisin guy shop. So you get alphabet molds that are big. So if you're looking at something bigger, you can get a mold, but again, you'll be getting individual alphabet molds. Okay, it's only with Keychain that you get an entire chart. Otherwise, you get individual alphabet molds, which you can pick up from either Amazon or from anywhere else.
Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Any more
Yvonne,
questions? Yeah.
I just wanted to know if you're making something that needs to be hung up. How do you make that loop on the top, like say of that charm you made for the Christmas tree?
Uh-huh.
How do you make the loop for that? Place where you can hang it.
So, okay, that's a good question. So you can see this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just put in your ribbon, or you could put in some I usually use these jute ropes. I've bought an entire packet of the jute ropes. I use in jute ropes. You can just put in that. You can make a loop and you can hang it on the Christmas tree. So
Oh,
again, this was a try. So I have not really given it a lot of finishing touch. This is still very raw. With resin, what happens is when it dries off, you have I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but you have a very pokey edge. You can see
ah,
this? Yeah. So when it dries off with resin, the edges on the edges it begins to extend. Okay, because of which you will have a very uneven surface. It's very rough. You can even get a cut with this. Okay, this is quite rough.
right.
And like I told you, resin goes hard. So obviously this is already, I think this has completed over 2 months. So this is the final product. Okay, what you need to do with these kind of resin when you've completed it is you need to buff them. Okay, you just need to get a normal sandpaper and you need to ensure that you're rubbing it against the sandpaper. Okay, that gives you smooth edges. Once you have everything in place, you are happy with it, just pop up a ribbon, tie a ribbon on it, and you can hang this on the Christmas tree. Okay.
Okay. So Now
Yeah.
I understood that the mold came with the place for that.
Yes, 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 yes,
It
yes.
came
So
with
my
that.
mold, yeah, it has a hole. This is the one. Yeah,
Okay.
it has
Yeah.
a hole.
But the heart mold doesn't have
No,
anything.
the heart mold doesn't have. So that is more of a flat shape, because of which I haven't really made it like a hanging. I have used it in my coaster. What I can do is I'll just show you. I have another heart that I've created. So this is how my heart
Yes.
looks like.
Ah,
Okay. So what I can do is I have a drill that I use for my initial keychains. I can drill a hole here and I can put a tiny screw, which is called a sheep eye screw, and I can also hang this.
okay.
Okay.
And
So
what screw?
yeah, sorry.
What's the name of the screw?
It's called a sheep eye screw. I can show you an example. Just a minute.
Sheep eyes. Hmm.
I think.
Hmm.
I'm not too sure where I've kept that sheep eye screw, but I will pop a picture in the chat
Okay.
window once we're done, in case if I am
Yeah.
not able to find
Yeah.
it. Okay, so this is my drill machine.
Oh, you get a special drill for this.
Yeah. You get a special drill. So this has this tiny drill bits,
Oh, very
if you
tiny
can
drill.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very tiny. So this is not the normal one, and this is a handheld drill machine. Okay, so you basically get two types of drill now for the keychain. One is a manual one, which is like it has its drill bit connected. You just need to manually make a hole. I found this a little more better because matter of 2 seconds you just
Yeah.
can
You-
create your drill holes.
Yeah.
Just need to pop
This
the
also
correct.
on Amazon.
No, I picked these up from my vendor. So basically, what I noticed was when I started off with it, I was okay with buying things off Amazon because, uh, it was just like a one-off try for me, and I wanted to see whether Raisin is going to be a good opportunity for me. So I picked many stuffs up from Amazon initially. I in fact picked up my first bottle of Raisin from Amazon. But then eventually when I realized that it's going to be a regular affair for me, uh, I got into a lot. I got in touch with a lot of people who give you Raisin or who give you all these molds and all at a more cheaper rate. Okay, so instead of paying 200 or 300 bucks more off Amazon, I would prefer using that in buying more decorations or using that in buying more stuff that will aid me in doing my resin art.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is something that I picked up from my vendor,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
drill and the drill bits.
You can,
Okay, and I will share that sheep eye screw with you. I just had it some time back, but I think in the excitement I've dropped it off somewhere.
I have a question.
Yes.
When do you drill in so that when it is slightly is fully
No.
cured or
So now this is something that I have created 2 days back. Okay, so now this is completely cured. All right. So when it's hard, it doesn't bend. It doesn't. It's hard. Okay, it's pretty hard like a plastic. It's not heavy like a glass. You can see it. It's like a glass, but it gets hard and it becomes something like a plastic. All right. So that's when you can drill. So basically, you need to wait for 24 hours for your artwork to cure. Once it has cured, you can then drill it in because this is now hard and my sheep eye screw is going to hold in there. All right. If it was soft, you would not be able to drill in also.
okay.
Okay, so you need to basically wait for 24 hours to do any drilling work, or if you're supposed to, do any connections or anything, wait for 24 hours. Once it's completely cured, you can then go ahead and drill in, or you can just complete your artwork.
Okay. Thanks so much, Shivam.
No worries. Okay, now we've covered colors. In colors, there's one more type of color that I also use. This is called as mica powder. Okay, for the ladies, you guys use makeup, so obviously this is something that is a makeup powder. Okay, so this is more of an eyeshadow in a bigger bottle. All right, so what this does is when you pop it into your resin, it gives you this shiny effect. All right. So you can use it in a lot of stuff like your resin artwork for coasters, for tea light candles, for anything. So this, it doesn't only give you the color that you can see on the screen, but it also gives you a little shining dust kind of an effect without actually putting shining dust into it. Okay, so mica
Wow.
powder is another type of color that you can use. Yep, sorry, someone was saying something. Okay, I take that as a no. This is a specific, I'll show you this now. So this is specific pigment for resin art. All right, it's called as Ipotag. That's the brand. All right, so I bought.
It's face the this thing. Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. Okay, so again, this is one of the pigment colors. This is more of a paste pigment. Okay, and the one that I showed you earlier, this is more of a water-based pigment. All right. So if you have to use a darker shade of any color, it's always preferable to buy the paste pigment. Okay, because and buy a color that is very compatible with resin, because when you mix it, it gives you these white blobs, which I have used for the acrylic color. It actually gives you white blobs. These guys, they mix pretty efficiently with your colors, and you get a very smooth texture. So if you're looking at doing this as a hobby or doing this for someone in specific, use the proper color. So this is one of the brand, which is called as Ipotag, again from the same brand, Epoxy. Okay, so this is one of the gel-based resin color. Okay, so I've shown you 3 types of colors. You can also use acrylic. Okay, but going for a little expensive acrylic color, because that will then mix with your resin. All right. So that's about the colors. I have a whole box of shiny stuff that I invested in. I found them pretty cute, and for my keychains, for any other things that I'll be using, like for resin and for my coasters and stuff. So I've bought these. So these are my holographic silver color. I'm not sure if you can see it very clearly. Okay, so this is one of it. These are the stones. So this is one of the green stones that I use. Okay, I haven't used this yet, but I have used the golden one for the candle holder that I showed you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the golden one that I have used. All right. Similar to that, this is more of a sequence that I picked up. So whenever I go to this guy's shop, I always end up picking up these teeny tiny stuff, because it's just cute, and you never know, if you have a creative project, you could always use them. This is again something that I picked up from the shop. They're these cute hearts that I can use either in a keychain or in a coaster. I'm sure when you go online and when you search for resin, you will see a couple of them that will be using these kind of they call I'm not too sure, but yeah, they're made out of clay, and they're chopped up into tiny pieces. So polymer clay. Okay. This again is another charm, not charm, but shining dust, called a unicorn shining dust. Okay, I'm not sure how clear it is, but yeah. Fine. And yeah, these again are something that I really liked. I picked these up from Amazon. My guy had it, but then he had it individually. Okay, so the one to my right is the unicorn shining dust. I'm not sure if you can see it. The one in the center is a very cute rose gold shade, and the one to the right, on the left, is a nice rosy pink kind of a color. Okay, so now what these basically, what you can see is, they have a mixture of big sequence and small sequence, so you can use this in multiple stuffs. Okay, I really find it very creative. You can use it in multiple stuffs. Okay, and I have also invested in this. So this is something for nail art. All right. I think I found it very useful for my keychains. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it has these tiny stars. It has these tiny moon figurine. So one minute, let me just sort it out for you. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So it has this moon.
Little higher.
Yeah. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has this moon, it has different shaped diamond, it has a whole lot of stuff, okay, that has these shapes and stuff. So it's really nice. Sorry. It's really nice to have things like that because you never know when you need it, and you never know when you can whether you'll find it in the right spot or no. Again, this is something that I picked up from Amazon. This also charged me a bomb. I paid like a good $550 for 6 boxes that included 6 different colors. So it has this green, it has this multicolor, it has this silver color. Okay, so what you can do with these is you could, whenever you're making your keychains, these are more useful for keychains. Whenever you're making your keychains, you could just pop them in and it just, it will just accentuate your work. Okay, I have also used it for this poppet. So I was making this mobile poppet. So if you can see the charms over here. I've used the moon, I've used the star and stuff. Okay, so again, this is a mold that I picked off from my guy. So this you can make a poppet, mobile poppet, pop socket basically. Okay, I will be sharing all these work with you on the group so you can have a look. All right, so this is my pop socket. You need to just stick this end to the back of your mobile, and yeah, that's how it will look.
They're so cute.
Thank you.
So cute. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still trying it out with different colors. So I'll be finalizing the artwork. I'll be putting my pop socket behind it. Okay, so this is one of it. This is one of it, and yeah, this one is one of it. The galaxy one. Okay, and
Lovely.
yeah, this is what you get separately. This is your pop socket grip that you get separately. Okay, any questions so far?
Yes, I have.
Yep.
Do you have a basic list of what we need for beginners?
A basic list. That's a good question. So basically, yeah, you need resin, okay, to start off with. It depends on what you would like to start off with. Okay, like what I did was when I started off resin, I started it off with my coaster. So for me, what was important was my coaster mold. Okay, so I bought my coaster mold, the first one, the one that I showed you with the geogod mold, right? The one, the mold that will make a coaster like this. So that was the first set of coaster that I picked up. I was really
What's the
happy
word
with
you're using? I can't. Geo?
Geogode, Geogode, Geogode. I'll be putting in all this information. Don't worry, I'll be putting in all this information on the group after
Oh,
the
thank
session.
you so much.
Yeah, I'll be sending out like an MOM, which we do in our work area. So yeah, you'll have all that. I'm used to this training thing. So yeah, MOM is a part of my life now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I have also made this. Okay, again, I'm not
Earrings.
sure. Yeah, so these are the earring studs. Okay, and for this, I have not used the normal 3:1 epoxy. Okay, because that is very liquidy, very runny. For this, I have used something called as the UV resin. Okay, for people who want to take a picture, you can do so now.
Now, when it's saying soft, there is another option. It's saying
Uh,
soft.
No. So that's just the brand. Okay, there are different kind of brands in this. UV Resin Soft is something that is the brand. Okay, end of the day, all your UV resins are going to be exactly like this. Okay, so you will have this coming with this tiny nozzle. Okay, where you'll be using it. As the name suggests, it is UV resin, so you will need a UV light for this. Okay, because it is in terms of the normal epoxy resin that you have, this is very different. Okay, this guy sets in 24 hours, this guy sets in 5 minutes. Okay,
Oh,
so now you might be tempted okay, if I have an option to use UV resin and get my artwork set in 5 minutes, why don't I use it? um One thing, you need the UV light to dry it. Okay, and this has a limitation. You cannot use this for a very big project. Okay, if you're looking at creating those earrings that I just showed you, those teeny tiny earrings, that's when you can use a UV resin, because the area is smaller. Okay, so this will heal quite faster. Okay, the more bigger the area, even if you're going to put a lot of UV light, it's not going to, it's just not going to heal. And what you're going to have an outcome is a bendy, flexible kind of artwork, which is not going to look good. Okay, let me just see. I think I had worked on a couple of projects initially, and okay, I had one of, just give me a minute. Okay, so for my first batch of resin, I had created these alphabets. Okay, now I had to discard these alphabets. The reason is, you can see them; they've turned out nice. They are pretty hard and all that stuff. But can you see that? I'm
yeah.
able to bend it. Okay, so now this is not how a resin cures. All right, so this, it's not supposed to be bendy. And if it is bendy, that means something is wrong with your artwork.
Okay.
Okay, so what are the situations that your resin can go wrong? Now with this, what happened was, when I mixed my hardener and my resin, my epoxy, it did not mix well.
Wow.
Okay, it just did not mix well, and because of which, this I think has completed 3 months, and it is still soft. It has just not cured. Okay, this is not how your resin is supposed to be. It is supposed to be hard, like this coaster. It is just not going to bend. It's hard. Okay, so the reason for this, I was not able to mix my resin pretty well. So my hardener and my epoxy didn't mix well, because of which I have this output. It is going to come back into its shape. Okay, no matter what I do, it is going to come back into its shape. It's going to take its shape as a normal Y, but this is not the final output. I mean, you cannot give it to anyone. So what I plan to do is, I have a whole set of alphabets. I plan to put a small tiny magnet behind and give it to my daughter to play, so she can at least learn her alphabets. It's not a complete waste. Okay,
Good
so
idea.
sorry.
Good idea, I said.
Yeah, I know actually. Okay, so for people who want to learn more about resin, one thing, when you don't mix it properly, you need to mix it for at least 3 minutes, so that it's completely incorporated. If it's not mixed properly, you're going to have this bendy kind of a thing. Okay, in India we have a very favorable weather climate, so even if you keep it in your kitchen to dry out without the fan, it's going to dry out very well. Okay, so you don't need to put the fan on. You don't, it doesn't dry. Okay, it cures over a period of time, so you don't need to keep the fan on, or you don't need to do something special for the resin to become hard. All right, you just leave it undisturbed for 10 hours to 12 hours. Let it just be the way it is. It's going to heal, and then give it full 24 hours to cure. All right, so that's the main mantra. There's no specific thing that you need to do with resin. Okay, so I've shown you my one example gone wrong. I've shown you the two different types of resin. A little more about UV resin. Like I said, you need to have a UV light. So I've invested in this UV light. All right. So I'm sure the ladies, at least the people who do these manicure kind of a thing, they're well aware of it. This is my UV light that I use.
Roughly the cost?
This one will cost you around 100 rupees.
That's reasonable.
Okay, and the UV resin will cost you around 500, 600 for this bottle. Okay, this tiny little bottle will cost you that much. That again, I'm talking of Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we've got everything covered. You know what is the difference between the normal epoxy resin and the normal UV resin. Uh, just another note again, reiterating, UV resin, use it for smaller projects and use the UV light. In case if you don't have a UV light, don't need to worry. Just leave it out in the sun, okay, for around half an hour. Automatically your artwork is going to set. Okay, because sunlight
The
has
hair
UV.
dryer.
Sorry?
Hair
No,
dryer.
hair dryer is going to give you hot air. It's not going to throw out UV, right? Yeah. So even if you do something with the UV resin, you could just keep it out in the sunlight to dry. Naturally, it is going to dry. Sunlight has a lot of UV rays falling out, so it will dry that. You don't need to specifically use the UV light in case if you don't want to invest in it. Great. Okay, I think I have covered a lot about the UV. I have covered almost all the colors that we use or we can use. I've covered about all my different kind of sequence that we have. I think if we have no questions, I'll take you forward with the practical session. Does
Okay.
anyone have any questions?
No.
Ma'am?
Besides Amazon, where do you
Mhm.
buy your other things from?
So I have my vendor. So I usually, go to this vendor of mine and I pick it up. So I found a vendor from India Mart. All right, if you're looking at it as a business, it's better that you do a lot of research and go and find the different vendors whom you can get your supplies from. My vendor usually gives me my resin and stuff for 100-200 rupees lesser than the actual Amazon price. Okay, so like I was just talking to Uncle Roy, if anyone wants a beginner's kit, connect with me. I will get it off from my vendor because I usually pick up in bulk from him. So he will give it to me at a discounted rate.
Okay.
Okay. So if anyone is looking at, getting a beginner's kit, which is going to be 300 ml of resin and hardener, that is going to be 225 ml of your hardener and 75 ml of your resin. Okay. So that's going to be these tiny bottles. It'll be pretty tiny bottles where you can just, keep it in one place. It's not as big as my bottle. But yeah, for beginners, I think we can make some kit like that wherein we can get a mold. If you're looking at creating coasters, we can get a mold. We can get you some of the charms, some of the sequence work that I have, so that you have everything in one place. And all you need to do, you don't need to go on Amazon and hunt. All you need to do is just get your package and start working on it.
How much would that cost?
I need to work out the cost. I need to just understand what exactly is the best price that my guy will offer, and that's what I will put it forward to you. So in case if you're looking at something, let me know what you're looking at. So I had this concept of getting a starter kit for coasters, because I started off with coasters, and I'm sure even if you started off as an individual business and you want to do coasters, I'm sure it is going to sell off. Okay, so if you want to do coasters at your end, I can provide you a starter kit for coasters wherein you get the coaster molds, you get your epoxy resin. Once you set your hands and once you know that, okay, this is something I want to get into, then y'all can always, contact me, or I can give you the contact number and y'all can go and get the resin from whoever I pick it up from.
Ma'am?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we'd like to try out first and then only go in for the bigger
Yes,
bottles.
yes. Absolutely. I agree with you on that. And because of which I will be making a kit. Okay,
Beginner's
so
kit.
I'll be, yes, a beginner's kit. Okay, so what we can do is, people who are interested in a follow-up session, you can probably drop a note to me on my personal text, or you can probably drop a note on the group saying that you are interested. Okay, based on that, we will just work out on a beginner's kit where you will get this 300-gram epoxy resin. You'll get your molds. You'll get a couple of things to pour into it, like colors and some shiny stuffs. Okay, and you can give it a try. So you can just contact me, let me know what you're looking at, and we can probably make that and share that with you, and we can have another session also.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Ma'am?
No worries. My
Ma'am,
pleasure. Yes.
Thank you.
the big bottle has the resin, right?
Sorry. Yeah, the big bottle is a hardener and the small bottle is called,
This
no, the
softener.
small bottle is a hardener, the big bottle is a razor. Do you want to have a look at it once again?
Yeah, just tell us what is the content now?
Yeah, so the one that I am currently using, this one is 900 gram of resin and 300 gram of hardener. Okay, and as you can see the name, it is an epoch art resin.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so one more
can
thing,
I-
what you, yeah,
Can I ask you, like, what is the ratio when you mix it? You have
3
to
is
mix
to
both?
1, 3 is to
Okay.
1. So
Okay.
you strictly need to follow. So there are instructions over here. Mix it in the ratio of 3 is to 1. Okay. Now resin has a very bad tendency of having bubbles. Okay. So how do you avoid bubbles? Whenever you're mixing your artwork, you need to mix it pretty slowly. Okay. Give it time. Resin really needs a lot of time and patience. You have to mix it very slowly so that you mix the resin and the hardener. Okay, even if you mix it very slowly, you will still have bubbles. Okay, so now when we do the practical session, that's when you will understand what I'm talking about. Okay,
Okay.
and these bubbles, they don't pop automatically. Okay, they've said over your auto bubble release. All right, they come to the surface, but they don't pop. Okay, and if you have bubbles in your resin artwork, it is going to ruin your artwork. Okay, so you need to be very careful with this bubbles. Okay, here they've written it cures completely in 24 hours. Okay, so you can use it after 24 hours.
In what do we mix it? In a glass bowl or in a steel
Yes.
bowl?
She'll do the practical. She'll
Yes,
show us
I'll
how
be
to
doing
do
the
it.
practical. But yeah, good question. I use a plastic cup. Okay,
Oh.
so this is the cheapest because for beginners you don't need to invest in silicone every time. And like I said, your silicone molds are going to be quite expensive. Okay, so I use a normal cup. I've just worked on a resin project yesterday. I use a normal cup, but this one is going to be thrown away because I've already used it and I cannot reuse the same cup again. Okay, and this is any which way a throwaway cup, so I'm okay with that. What I have is this. You have these tiny beakers that comes. This is completely silicone. Okay, so I use these tiny beakers and I use ice cream sticks or probably a stirrer or something to stir it. All right, always use a thicker spoon to stir because it just mixes the content really well.
Is it
Okay,
sticky or is it sticky?
resin is very sticky. It is very sticky. Okay, if you get it on your hand, it is very sticky. Okay, so to start off with, the consistency is more like that of honey. So honey also is sticky, and once it dries off, it just gives you that sticky kind of a feeling. It to start off with, when you pour resin or when you mix resin, it has a consistency or a viscosity somewhat like honey, like a thick honey. Okay, and the resin that I have picked up is quite fluid. Okay, so it is somewhat like the flowy honey, but but there are two types of resin. So when it dries over a period of time, it starts becoming a little thicker, right? So you can like pick it up in a spoon and it is not going to fall off. Okay, so that's the consistency you do not want to work with. Your resin has to be flowy. Okay, if your resin at any point in time begins to harden, okay, and while you're still working on it, just blow it with a heat gun. Okay, so I have a heat gun. This is my heat gun that I have picked up. I just recently bought this. I did not find the need to buy the heat gun. Okay, so this is something very recent that I picked up. Uh, when I saw people doing their artwork on YouTube, they had heat gun. But then I thought that I didn't want to invest in a heat gun because for me, uh, I have invested in a heat gun, I've invested in a glue gun, I've invested in so many things, and I just don't have place to keep things. So, maintenance is a problem for me. So I didn't want to invest in this. But then over a period of time, eventually I realized that this was important. Okay. So this works like a blow dryer for someone who did mention blow dryer earlier. This works as a blow dryer. So it will throw out air, hot air. Okay, but it will throw out really very hot air. It is not going to throw out air like your blow dryer does, it is going to be very hot. You cannot keep your hand in front of it because it tends to get very hot. Okay, and this is useful for reason one, when your bubbles have come up, you just want to give it a little bit heat. That's when you use this. When your resin has started to dry, okay, that means it has started to cure, that's when you would want to use this. Okay, again, I would not recommend buying this immediately. It is not really required. It's just something fancy that you will need if you're looking at resin as a business. Okay, any questions?
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
What if you want to make some shapes which are not available in the commercial molds, like maybe birds or mushrooms or something like that for a specific use?
So what happens is now with molds, okay, there's silicone molds that are usually created. All right. So if you have something, you need to have a physical shape of it. If you have a physical shape of it, and probably you could either give it to me, or so my vendor basically told me कि अगर आपको कुछ भी molds चाहिए, just let us know, give us a physical shape of it, हम लोग बना के देंगे आपको. Okay, so if there is something that you want to make and you have a physical version of it, you just share it with me, or I can probably in the down the line we can share our numbers, and I can give you the contact. You could go to that person, he will make the mold and give it to you. Okay, so again, there is a different kind of a thing called making silicone molds. You just need to have the shapes. I can just pop this shape, I can pour my silicone around it, let it set, and then I create the mold. Okay, so that's what they do. We do not want to get into all these small things because again, it's going to be very hectic, and the molds sometimes tend to come out right, sometimes doesn't tend to come out right. So this pop socket, this is my pop socket mold that I have, the one that I showed you for the Minnie Mouse. Okay, so I was looking for this mold everywhere on Amazon with my vendor. My vendor didn't have it. Okay, so I was really desperate for this mold because this is what I wanted to start off and put it on my business page. Okay, but when I bought the mold, I'm not sure if you can see it. One side is fat and one side is thin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what happens in this, and this was a first try, somebody had given a first try for this mold and they had created it. Okay, now what happens is you'll not be able to see it in my artwork because I tend to pop something under it so that it's in layer, it's in a level. That's the reason why my artwork is standing straight. Otherwise, there's one side that becomes fatter and one side that becomes thin.
Yeah.
So then it just ruins your work, and you're giving it so much of time, you're giving it so much of patience to work with that artwork, and if something like that ruins it, you're not going to be happy. So it's better that we don't get. I wanted to actually even try creating the molds for myself because I had shapes, but then after looking at this guy, I said, okay, let me not put my hand into it.
Ma'am?
Okay,
Ma'am?
cool. And any more questions?
Ma'am? Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Can you use glue for resin? Like if I want to stick any letter to a letter.
So you get this jewelry glue. Okay, you can use glue, but you have to use this jewelry glue that comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use that for your thing because for my earrings, what I have done is, I'll just show you.
I gave you.
Okay, so this was the earring that I have created, and I have stuck this up with the UV resin itself.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so I've used UV resin itself. I did not need to find a jewelry glue, but yeah, I'll be buying a jewelry glue because it just becomes easier to get any artwork stuck.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, any more questions? Yeah.
Yeah, hi. I was late. I'm sorry, I was late to join this. I missed out on quite a bit, but just a general thing that I wanted to ask, that in case whatever we make out of mold, and then we want to stick them. So how you said jewelry glue will help. So even resin to resin, it will help to stick
Resin to
together.
resin, 100%. Okay, but resin takes 24 hours to dry. Okay, so if you've made your artwork, suppose it's a semicircle, all right, you need to combine two semicircles. You have the patience and you have the space to keep that two semicircles undisturbed for 24 hours. That will be great. You could just put resin itself and stick it and let it just set for 24 hours, because it is not going to immediately stick. Okay.
Okay.
So the cure time is 24 hours. It's not going to immediately stick. You will have to give it 24 hours. Actually, within 10 to 12 hours, it will start to harden. All right. But then completely cures within 24 hours.
So basically what I meant was, if I'm making something already,
Hmm.
which is already made, okay, like how you have made one coaster, and suppose something else which is made out of resin and which is already a dried piece, and I want to stick them together in some way.
Okay. Like for example, what I did with my current coaster, this
A heart one.
this coaster, yeah, exactly. So what I did was I created this separately. This heart
Correct.
was created
Yes.
separately, right? So I did
Right,
this.
right.
I created the
Right.
heart separately. This is completely cured now. Okay.
Correct.
It's completely
Correct.
cured. I put this, then I dropped in my white layer. I let that again cure for 10 to 12 hours. And then I dropped in the other layer. So this is the output of it.
Okay, okay, okay.
So you can always use resin with resin, but the only thing is your cure time is going to take 24 hours.
Take time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
Thank you.
No worries.
Now we
Anything
have
else?
the soap molds and the cake molds. Can we make it in that as well?
Absolutely. You can use anything that is silicone. Okay. So your soap molds are a perfect example. You can use as long as you have something in your mind. Okay. Now, just to give you some more examples, again, I'm going to be sharing a couple of images that, resin is used for. So if you have your table, like I have my table, okay, I want the tabletop glossed. I can use resin on it. All right. So I can always pour resin, get my texture, whatever created on it. That's my tabletop gloss. Bookmarks, like I told you, earrings, like I showed you. We create hair clips. There are combs that you can create. Okay. So resin basically is transparent. So anything you put in the center and you create it, it's just going to give you a very good output. You can use it for anything: coasters, combs, clips, name it. I'll give you a lot of examples. Like I said, I'm going to
When
be
it hardens, it just slips off, is it?
from the mold, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So silicone is one thing that resin doesn't stick to. Okay, because of which you will see what I have done is on my table. This is my table. On my table, I have put this silicone mat. Okay, so now this is your normal mat that you use for your cooking. Okay, I've just put this because I don't want my table to get stained, or because once it dries off, once resin dries off, it will actually leave. I have examples of resin drying off on my table and it leaves stains. Okay, not very pleasant to look at. I've ruined my kitchen table, all right, by doing resin without putting the silicone mat. And I have learned over a period. So this was something that I had bought when I was baking. So it was just lying, and I said, okay, let me just put it to good use. So I use it now as a tabletop while working with resin.
You
Okay.
can't use metal, right?
No. Metal is
shapes
something
you
that
can't use.
yeah. Metal you cannot use. So again, there is one more example of resin where you have these metal tumblers. Okay, you can put resin on top of it and decorate it. So basically, resin sticks to everything except for silicone, except for your cling wrap. Okay, yeah, those are a few things that resin doesn't stick to. Okay, so whenever you're working with resin, things that are important is you need to have your mixing spoons. Okay, you need to have your different kind of so basically, like I said, I've invested in a couple of small this for my jewelry. Okay, so these are my mixing bowls that I use for my jewelry. Okay, this is my beaker that I use. All right, and like I showed you, I use this plastic glass. Okay, so nothing wrong in using plastic
If
glass.
the beaker is not there, I can use any kind of plastic glass, right?
Plastic, thermocol, I was actually going to step out and buy those tiny thermocol glasses, but then I did not get the time.
Okay.
So I have a whole lot of these glasses
Okay, so I
that I
can use the
have bought.
plastic glass also.
Absolutely. But you need to throw it away, okay? Once you're done with your stuff, you need to throw it away.
Now, if you're saying throw it away, does that go for the silicone? If I'm using
No.
silicone,
Silicone, you
no,
can
no,
wipe off resin.
no, I'm using it for my chocolates. And then
Okay.
I want this heart shape for, say, Valentine Day.
Huh.
And I'm making these hearts out of resin. Can I then later on use it for chocolates again?
Why not? You can definitely. So like
Wash
I
it
said,
with soap and clean it.
yes, just wash it with soap and clean it. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So silicone molds, the good thing is you can get the resin off. Okay. So what you need to do is just like that. So if you worked on a silicone mold, okay, let the resin dry out for around 24 hours. Let it just completely dry out. All right. Because then it's easier to pick it up or pull it out or whatever if there's a lot remaining in your bowls or in your molds. Okay. The other way of cleaning is also you can use a tape. Okay, so now this is my normal tape, my normal transparent tape. There's nothing fancy about it. What I usually do is I actually had kept some silicone mold of mine to just showcase how I clean the molds so that you know how you need to maintain your mold. Uncle Roy, are we going overboard with the time?
I think he's gone somewhere.
No, no, no. I'm here only.
he's my best student, okay?
Yeah.
No, no, no. This is our own paid channel, no? You
Paid
can
channel, no?
some of our yeah, some programs we have 4 hours continuous.
Oh, lovely.
You have done only 1 hour now.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you're not going
You know,
overboard.
you have
right?
3 hours more.
Oh.
We're
Okay.
enjoying the class. We're really
Yeah,
enjoying
yeah.
the class.
Only I wanted to ask Jigisha why she came late.
Sir,
I
I
did.
had a school meeting. I actually forgot I was on time, but then I realized actually it was at 3:30, and by the time it was 3:45, I realized, so I was late there too. I had to attend it
Or you
anyhow.
must
They're
have
starting
These are the
offline.
fairy cakes.
or you must have got a wake up call from Payal.
No, 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 not at all, not at all. Now they're starting offline school, no, so a lot of queries and
Oh
concerns.
yeah.
So that was
This
the
is for the
issue.
cakes, no?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is my cupcake mold. Okay. I just used it yesterday to mix a couple of colors. All right. So you can see there is a lot of residue on it. Okay. I haven't cleaned it. I have just let it dry over a period of time. Okay. What I have done is I have just stuck this transparent sellotape on my desk. Okay. All I'm going to do is just, wipe my mold against this.
Oh, lovely. It's coming out. Yeah.
So you will see around 80 to 90% of your residue will come
Yeah.
out. Okay. And then after that, all you need to do is if you still see that, okay, there is basically you'll need to wash it, obviously. But yeah, 80 to 90% of your residue should come out on this.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Mm.
So investing in silicone molds is good. Only other thing is maintenance. You'll need to clean it. That's it. Which is not a big task. Okay. So
Can we
yes,
use those plastic bowls that we get the food takeaway in?
as long as there is nothing in it, as long as it's clean
You
and
wash
clear,
it and clean it and dry it.
you can, yeah, you can use it. But then I would recommend if you're going in for mixing resin, because resin is very expensive, just invest in another chotu plastic cup.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to cost you much. So just invest in a separate cup altogether rather than using another takeaway box or whatever. Because no matter how much you clean it, you will not be able to see if there is any micro dirt also in it. Okay, so it's always better you use a plastic cup or use a thermocol cup, whatever is cheaper for you. I picked up a whole lot of plastic cups from town, so I have like an entire stock with me. So I don't mind using those big cups and stuff. But then since I have invested in these tiny beakers and stuff, I kind of mix my colors in this.
Okay.
Okay, so I have shown you how to also maintain your silicone molds in case if you buy them. All right, simply just remove it, throw it out. You can see 80 to 90% of your Whatever residue is there, it should be out.
Mm.
Cool. Okay. All right. So can we move on to the practical session, or do you guys need some more information on something? Let me know.
I think
I have 3 hours.
We'll have the practicals.
I have 3 hours.
I look towards that, and they're interested in seeing the practical.
Yeah, Yvonne, before you start your practicals, I would like a minute for all to
Yes.
put your cameras on. Because if I take a snapshot of the class, at the end, they all run away. So no running away. All of you put your cameras on.
Okay, I'll mute myself for a minute. I'll just go grab a glass of water and come back.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, but we need you
But
also
we
in the
need you,
photograph.
no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we need you.
See. Okay, we'll drink for you.
Go
No,
drink
no, it's
water.
Okay. Sunifa, Sashawat, Bella Fernandez. Your video is on, please. Yeah, 1 minute. Huh? Devdita, why did you come late? You forgot.
Yeah, yes, I forgot and then I remembered.
She's another of our teachers. Huh? 1 minute. All of you smile. Hey, that smile was so plastic here. Huh? Because the class is plastic out. Acha. 1 minute, 1 minute. I'll do the, because we have got page 2 also. Ah, there's Rosie. That's her mother, huh? Her mother is also on the show. Good.
And so is my father.
Your father is there? Is there?
Yeah. Dad is also there.
Acha, he's with you.
He's
Yasmin
here with me, but he is also on the Zoom call.
on the okay. Yasmin Colasso, Cecilia, Hedwig, Angela. Angela, I know your problem. Maria, Jesslyn, Joanne, Mahesh. Mahesh, put your video on. Mahesh will be coming in future for our shows. He'll be doing some work with us. And yeah, Yasmin, why are you hiding? Huh? Who is that? Elvira? Oh, your hair. Sandra Fernandez, Michelle Brito, Pressy was. Pressy, you are having a lot of problem with your internet? Joanne, I think these people have all put their. Mahesh, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
I'm at the farm. Actually, we are having a little bit of network issue.
Okay.
So in and out, I'm getting disconnected and I'm getting connected because I'm a little away from the city.
Okay. No worries. But we'd like
Yeah.
to see you because we'd like to identify the person who's coming for the next show. Mahesh is very interesting.
Definitely.
Huh? He's a highly talented guy.
Thank you very much.
No.
Thank you very much for the compliment.
Sunifa, put your video on. Jesslyn, Cecilia, last and final call. Other next show you are not on. That's it. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Trista Lobo, Jesslyn, Cecilia, Michelle Brito. Last and final call. Everybody knows people will fly out of my window otherwise. 1 second. I'll just put you all on. You have to say thank you to the teacher, no? Okay, I got almost quite a lot of you. The rest of you, sorry, next time you all won't be there.
I'll just go grab a glass of water and I'll be back, all right?
Yeah, you go now.
2 minutes breather. Okay.
Yeah. Michelle Brito, where were you so long? Now you're not a prop. You're not a proof. I don't have a proof of you in the group, huh? You, Jesslyn also was not there.
Can we leave now?
No, I think you're on mute, Michelle. Michelle, you're on mute. Michelle Brito, you're on mute.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yes. It was a wonderful session.
No, she's going to do practicals now. Don't go away.
No, I'm not going away. I
Normally
said
what
it was a
we do is
wonderful
we take the
session.
photograph. The Joyce and others who are regulars with me, they know that we do a photograph at the end of the day. We have 90 of us, and when the photograph is announced, we have only 21.
Hello.
Why do you want our photographs all the time?
Sorry?
What do you do with the photographs?
All the time?
No, I send tax receipts, no?
What do you do with the photographs?
No, we put it in the group.
Acha, okay.
Put it on the group. You know, these are the people who attended.
Okay.
Roy,
Yeah?
Alisa wants to say hi to everyone.
That's it. Her daughter. Oh my God. Her mother and her daughter in that. Hey, see, 1 minute. I'll bring you in the middle. Where are you? Ah, here you are. One
Say hi,
second.
say hi, baby. Say hi,
One
say hi.
second.
Say hi.
Yeah,
Say
that's
hi.
mother and
Say
daughter.
hi here. Here.
Wait. Hello. Hello.
Say hi, baby. Say hi, auntie.
She must be wondering how her mother is on another window.
Say mummy. Say mummy. Say mama. Say hi.
At last
Say
I got
mama
to
giving
see who
flying
you
kiss for
are.
you. Say mama giving flying kiss. Yeah, kar. She's not bothered. She's busy with her things.
Yeah.
I left her up with mama. She would not allow me to do anything.
Correct.
Sit down. Sit down.
Oh.
Okay, you take over.
Start. All right. I also have this one more mold that I'd like to show you guys. Again, I didn't do anything for Christmas. I was planning really big, but then I was in Goa and I was not able to do anything. But yeah, I have this other mold.
Wow.
It has this very cute Christmas charms. Basically, your tree ornaments. You can create the tree. I'm sure you've seen these lights that are created nowadays. You know, these lights that have all these stars and
Yes.
stuff, right? So we can also do something like that. You just put those rice lights inside and let the raisin set and stuff, and that's how you can create something. Okay, so you just need to be creative. If you think that you can do it, like someone said that they are very interested in flowers. Okay, you could just dip your flower into raisin and just let it dry. It's going to be there forever. It's not going to dry out. That's how raisin works. Okay, so I will take you through with the practical session. All right, let me know once my work area is visible. Clear?
Yeah, we can see your table.
We can, right? Okay. So things that you will require. I forgot to get my cup. 1 minute. Okay, like I said, I have bought a stock full of clean cups. So here's my cup that I'll be using. Ice cream sticks. I'm going to be using these ice cream stick to mix my content. Okay. Sorry. The wider the spoon or the wider the mixing stick, the better, because it just kind of mix your artwork or your raisin very well. Okay, and unmixed raisin is going to give you that bendy kind of a raisin effect that I just showed you earlier. You don't want that to happen. You want your raisin to set hard. All right. So this is the cup and the spoon or the stick that I'll be using. Okay, this is going to be my beaker that I'm going to be using for different colors. This is going to be the other beaker. Okay, to show you, I will be basically, so this is one of my coaster that I just created for this presentation. Okay, I'll be creating the same version now. I'll just demold it for the people who were talking about, does it just come out from the coaster, from your mold? This is how you demold it. Okay, so because it is silicone, it's not going to stick, and that's how you demold it. As you can see, it is still a little bendy. Can you see that? Yeah, it is still bending. It's not straight yet. That means this is still not cured. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, now I have already demolded it. Sorry, I'm just going to keep it on a flat surface and let it dry, and this is going to stiffen up because it's not completed 24 hours. That's the reason why it is still a little bendy. Okay, so I'm going to just let that set on a flat surface. That's one of the reasons that you can create with your marble effect. So this is the one that I've used. This is the coaster. I'm going to use this coaster again. So before using your silicone coaster mold or silicone molds, it's always better you take some sellotape. Bring this guy away from the screen. Just take some sellotape and just ensure that you clean it. Okay, so there can be dust particles, there can be anything that can come into your mold. Okay, so it's always better just take a sellotape and just press it down on your mold and clean it. Now, because I have used it for another resin project, there might be some residue of the previous artwork that must be there in my mold. Okay. It's always better you take a sellotape and just clean it. There's nothing in it, but then it's always better that you clean. Okay. I have a kitchen weighing scale, which some of you who are diet conscious might be having it at home. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that on my table. This is purely for my measurement purpose. Okay, you get your kitchen weighing scale from Amazon at a pretty cheap rate, $200-300, right? That should not be very expensive. I have this handy just in case if I need to know the ratio of my resin. I need to know the weight. That's the only reason why I use this kitchen weighing scale. Okay, so one thing with resin is now the resin that we are working with, it is a 3:1 ratio. Okay, if you're going to use 20 grams of hardener, obviously you're going to use 60 grams of resin, right? The bigger bottle, you're going to use 60. The smaller bottle, you're going to use 20, right? So that becomes a 3:1 ratio. But what if, if you're going to be using a smaller quantity, how are you going to calculate it? There is an application which you can go on Google Store or on App Store and download that I have. Okay, so it's called the Resin Calculator. I've downloaded this because it comes very handy when you're calculating your 3:1. Okay, so it also gives you this option where is it a circle or is it a rectangle? Okay, mostly when my coasters, I'm creating my coasters, I created in circle, not in rectangle. All right, then the next question is it asks you whether you want to do a coating or whether you want to do a casting. Okay, so now what is the difference between coating and casting? When you have your molds and when you create this complete resin, this is called as casting. Okay, so the complete thing is created in resin, that's called casting. All right, now if you see my pop socket, all right, if you see this one for instance, it's pretty flat, right? When you see it is pretty flat. What I have done on this guy is I have given it a little dimension. Can you see that? There's this little dome kind of an effect. Could someone confirm you can see that dome effect?
Yes.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ma'am
Hello?
left, I think.
Hello.
Yeah, she must have got disconnected. 1 minute. She'll come back.
She's back.
She's back.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Am I? Where are you?
Okay. It just kicked me out. I was rude. Okay. I am back. Hopefully everyone can see me. I was just questioning and I'm like, okay, why is no one responding?
It was not as clear. We can't make out actually. That's the
You
reason
can't.
we were trying to make out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
so you're
this
trying to say that it's a little bumpy look, you mean to say?
Yeah, bumpy means basically this effect is called as doming. Okay, I'm not sure, but you will not be able to see it very well. Okay,
Yeah,
but what you
can't
do,
make out.
It looks
Yeah.
flat almost.
it looks flat almost, but then so what happens is now when you finish your artwork, okay, it is always going to give you a flat effect and it is always going to extend from the sides. So you will have this curvature. Okay, what doming does is you create a dome which gives a convex kind of a feeling. So it's not concave, it's convex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to explain that in simple terminology, over here also you'll not be able to see it much, but there is this little concave kind of a thing that we're trying to do. Okay, and that is called as doming, and that is called as coating. As per the app, that will be considered as coating.
Okay.
Okay, and casting is when you are actually working like the whole thing, you're casting the entire whatever you're creating, like a coaster or whatever. Yeah, that is called as casting. Okay, so it's going to calculate based on that. Now what we are doing is we are going to be casting. Okay, I'm going to be showing you how to cast the coaster. Okay, now over here the next question is it 2:1 high gloss or is it 3:1 high gloss? Okay, so what we are using right now, the epoxy is 3:1 high gloss. So I'll be having that. So this is the screen that you get next. Okay, where you have to put in inches the diameter of your circle, because we've mentioned that we'll be working on a circle. Okay, and then you're going to be mentioning how many deep is that circle. Okay, so now the coaster that I'm going to be using is a 3-inch circle. So I'm going to be popping in the numbers. It's a 3-inch circle, and the thickness, that is the depth, is going to be around, I'm going to keep it as 5 mm. Okay, and I hit the calculate button. It shows me how much resin I'm supposed to take in grams.
Okay.
Right, you can see that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the total resin I'm going to be using is going to be 22 grams, out of which 17 grams is my resin and 5 grams, 5.7 grams is my hardener. Okay, so now let's just get going with the interesting part. Okay, so what I've done is I've just popped my glass on the kitchen weighing scale. So ensure that your scale is showing 0. All right, now it is showing something else, but when you pop it on the scale, ensure that it is showing 0. For that, there is this third button, which is TARE. Just press that. Okay, so you'll get a 0. So no matter how much ever weight you keep on the scale, even if I pop this up, whatever is the weight, I press TARE, it is going to show me 0. Okay, so ensure that your glass weight is minus. I'm going to just turn the fan off. My glass is a little wobbly. Okay, so as per my calculator, as per the resin calculator, I'm supposed to be using 17 grams of resin. Okay, so I'm going to be pouring in my resin. Now you can look at the consistency. This is like a thick jam. Okay, so that's 17 grams of resin.
Five grams.
Yeah, no, I just increased my diameter, the thickness, because I noticed that this is not going to be enough. So I'm going to make it as 23 instead of 17. So I'm going to just pop in some more resin. Okay, so if your resin is less, you can still whip up another batch, that is fine. All right, but if your resin is more, like I told you, don't throw it out. Just, ensure that you have these tiny charm molds and just pop the remaining resin with some colors in it. So what I usually do is, when I'm mixing, I keep my resin in a separate glass. So if I think that it's going to be excess, I keep the little resin in the glass, clear resin. Okay, so now I have this, which is 23. I'm going to add in now 8 grams of hardener as per my calculator. The revised calculations was 8 grams. Sorry, someone's saying something? Okay, so I have now mixed my resin and my hardener. I'm going to remove this kitchen weighing scale. Okay, another important thing is, in case if you have resin that has fallen off somewhere and it is still not set hard, you can wipe it off with a baby wipe. Okay, I have baby wipes. You can buy baby wipes. it becomes easier to wipe off your surface, and baby wipes are soft, so if you're wiping your molds, it will just help you, not spoil or not render scratches to your mold. So having baby wipes is just going to help. Okay, now you can see I've got this resin. I'm just mixing it slowly. All right, like I said, the key to working with resin is having some patience. Okay, so when you mix it, you will see that it has turned into this opaque white kind of a consistency. Okay, you have to mix it. So usually what people do is they keep a timer of 3 minutes and they keep mixing it for 3 minutes slowly. That's not really required. Okay, what you need to see is that while mixing it, just ensure, so at one point in time when your resin is completely mixed, it's going to turn back into transparent. That's what we want. Ensure that you're scraping the sides of your cup because it needs to completely mix. Okay, so now you can see it is not very thick. Okay, my consistency has become like honey, like maple syrup rather, the flowy maple syrup. Okay, so that's the consistency you want. My resin has also started turning transparent. It was a little whitish when I was beginning to mix it. Now it has turned transparent. All right, so that's what you basically need to achieve. Okay, and once you mix it, just keep it aside. So that's the normal thing. Just keep it aside for around 2 minutes. Okay, you will not be able to see it very clearly, but my resin has bubbles. Even though I have mixed it so slowly, there are bubbles in it. Okay, and I really don't want those bubbles to ruin my artwork. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to it, and they are all in the center. Okay, in this part of the resin, which is in the center. So they need to rise up. Okay, so once you mix your resin, usually you have around 45 minutes to 1 hour to work with the resin. Okay, so whatever you will be working on, ensure that you use the resin within 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, otherwise it will tend to get thick. Okay, even if it has thickened, like I mentioned, if you have the heat gun, just run the heat gun over it and it will become soft again. And once there's heat rendered to resin, it tends to get soft back. Okay, so you need to have a heat gun for that purpose. If you will be using your resin over a period of time, like you still need to work on it post 1 hour or something like that, then you need that. Otherwise you do not need it. Okay, so what I have done is I have just set it aside. As you can see, it was whitish in color. Now it has become like water. It has become transparent. Okay, and it has some bubbles in it, but I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. It has some teeny tiny bubbles in it. Okay, so we're going to just let it just sit there for like a minute or two while I prep my colors. So I'll be creating the same resin coaster. Okay, so I've given it a very mild pink. I'm not sure if you are able to see it, but a very mild pink marble effect. Once I click it from my DSLR, probably you'll be able to see the colors properly. This is the back of it. Okay, so it's a very mild pink color that I have used, and again I have used the acrylic color. So can you see those pink dots?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because the acrylic colors don't mix well. This is what I was talking about. Okay, so this is what is going to happen. So for the white, I used my Epotag resin friendly color. But for the pink, I thought that it's a very tiny pink, so I'm going to be using the acrylic color, and this is what happened. It has got these pink, spots that haven't mixed properly. So this is what I was talking about. Okay, so while I let my resin sit, I will show you how to finish your artwork. Okay, now this is my coaster, and what I usually do is I add a golden trim to it. Okay, like this, right? So this has a golden trim to it. It just accentuates the look. It just makes it look more prettier. Okay, so I have my marker that I will be using. I will share the link, or I will share the name. If you want to take a pic of it, you can keep it. Okay, so this marker is used to create the golden shiny effect around my resin coasters. Okay, so what I usually do is just hold the marker and just run it around the edges. You get liquid gold paint as well, but again, handling the brush is going to be difficult. So I prefer the marker. It just doesn't. So can you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it adds that beautiful golden glowy kind of a trim to your coasters. Okay, and I'm sure even if you're not happy with it, that gold makes it look so pretty. So you just end up being like, okay, this is good. All right, I'm not going to complete this, but yeah, this is what I just wanted to show you, how one small thing can make a big difference. All right, so if you are planning of making coasters with resin, if you are planning to like give it a try, all right, this marker is something that I would request you to invest in, because it just gives a lovely effect to your coaster. I will just also create a small trim on the inside. So like I told you, resin extends on the sides, right? And this guy is still not set, so I'm not going to. Still a little bendy, but yeah, this is how it will look. Okay, I've not completed it. I'll complete it later. Fine. So you see, this small thing will make a very big difference. It will make your thing look really very pretty. Okay, so now we've let our resin sit for some time, and I can see almost all of the bubbles have rised up. I'm sure you'll not be able to see because they're very tiny. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect my heat gun, just give it a blast of hot air. Okay, and like I said, this is going to give hot air. Okay, this is plastic, so don't keep it on for a very long time, otherwise your plastic will melt and your resin will be all over the table. So just ensure that you're just giving it like a few seconds, not much. This is going to make a lot of noise. Okay, my glass actually became hot. Okay, so I've given this a blast of hot air. I'm going to remove this because I don't need this anymore. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to idly mix the two colors. I'm going to create the same coaster that I showed you, the white and pink one. Okay, so I'm going to mix white into this cup, and I'm going to mix pink into this smaller one because I don't need a lot of pink. Okay, so I'm just going to create my potions. Okay, all right. Whenever you're working with any project, good to know information is when you're mixing resin, mix it once only. Don't keep remixing it. Okay, because your proportions can go wrong. Sometimes something can happen. It can just ruin your artwork. So don't, if you're using this resin for this particular project, ensure you use it here, use it on other smaller molds and just finish it off. If you're using it for another mold which you'll be making, create a separate batch, create a big batch and keep it. That is fine. You can use it in other stuffs, but don't previously mixed resin again, okay, because it might have an issue. I see someone's raising their hand. Is there a question?
Alice Fernandez.
Alice, is there a question? I see your hand raised. Probably that's accidental. Okay, fine. So,
Accident. Yeah, sorry.
no worries, no worries. That's fine. Okay, so my colors. Where did I keep the colors? Everything is just all around the place. I don't know where I've kept my colors. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be using this Ipotag white color. Okay, and I'm going to use continue to use the acrylic because that coaster is made with acrylic. If I use another color, it's just going to look a little off. Those guys are not going to look like a pair. So I'm going to use this acrylic paint. Okay, because it is a smaller quantity, that's the only reason why I don't mind taking the risk. If it was a bigger quantity, I wouldn't have done it. Okay, so this is how my color looks. It looks like an acrylic color only. The gel, the paste pigment. Okay, the Ipotag paste pigment. It looks exactly like an acrylic shade. I use toothpicks basically to kind of pull the color out. So first we're just going to go with the pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some white. Okay, I've just taken like a little bit of white and I'm going to dip it in pink and just drop it in my tiny resin mold that I have for the pink. Okay, now you need to ensure, you need to ensure you're mixing it correctly. So for this guy, for the smaller mold, I usually use this toothpick because that ice cream stick is humongous. It just doesn't fit into this small container that I have. But for the bigger one, I usually use the ice cream sticks. And toothpicks are more like picking out colors from the bottle. I don't use toothpicks otherwise. And in case if you're using tiny molds, like for earring or something, you want to space out a color or you want to mix two colors or something, that's when I will use a toothpick. That's when it comes really handy. Okay, I'll just mix this and I'll show you how the color looks. I've created this baby pink kind of an effect.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my baby pink. I will be now using this toothpick to create white. So there was no question in terms of how much color, using how much color is actually right in a project. Okay, so whenever you are working with resin, ensure that your color ratio is, you're just using like 5%, not more than 5% as the color. Okay, because some colors, like I mentioned, they have water based. So some pigments are water based, like the ones that I showed you, the dropping ones. They're water based pigments, and water doesn't really work very well with resin. It won't mix. Okay, or it won't let your resin get hardened over the period of time that you've committed. 24 hours, it won't harden over that period of time. All right, so it's always better that you do not use a lot of color. Okay, just you can add color later, that is fine, but just use a small batch and see how the color turns out. If you're happy with it, you don't need to add more. If you're not happy with it, you can always drop it in later, that's fine. Okay, so now you can see the acrylic color took me quite a lot of time to mix, but this guy is like efficiently, very fluidly it has mixed. Okay, that's because this is a resin compatible color, so it won't show you any blobs or anything. It will just mix very efficiently. Okay, so that's my white. Okay, so this is my mold. Right, I hope you guys can see it clearly. Okay. I did remove all the kachra from it, but I can see there is some tiny thing sticking out of it. So I'm going to just do the sellotape drill again because I see a small thing fallen into it. Sorry. Okay, so I'm not sure, but can you guys see this? There's a small thing over here.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
so anything in your mold will I mean, see, because this is white, all right, you don't want to take the risk of any kind of dirt or impurities in your mold before dropping in your resin, because once it hardens, there is no way of getting it out. Okay, and once you've poured it, there's absolutely no way of getting it out. Okay, so this is going to be a simple pour. All right, I'm just going to take my resin. I'm just going to pour it into my mold. All right, so you can see the consistency is like honey, like you're pouring honey. So it's very fluid. It's not started to harden yet. Otherwise, it would not flow like that. Okay, ensure that you just scrape out everything. Like I said, resin is usually expensive, so you don't want to waste any of it. Okay, so I have poured in the white. What I am going to do now is just give the pink a little bit of a stir. Okay, and I'm just going to pour in the pink in a very haphazard kind of a way. So there is no particular way of pouring in. What I am achieving out here is like a marble effect. Okay, so I'm just going to ensure that I'm pouring all my color out. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my ice cream stick, pick it up, and just kind of move it. Okay, so what I hope you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just picking it up from the base and just kind of shifting it. Okay, so that it just creates a random pattern and it's not like how we poured it. Okay. Yeah, so I'll not be able to touch it, but yeah, I get the laptop a little closer. Hopefully you can see it. Can you see this effect that I've tried and created?
Yes.
All right, this is the simplest way of working with resin. All right, now what will happen is, as you can see, I have filled the mold only half. Okay, why? Because the sides are going to rise up. Okay, and it's going to give me this kind of an effect. So I'm going to let the sides rise up a little bit. I want this kind of an effect because this really looks nice. Okay, so usually what happens is, like I mentioned to you, this is the rough side. Okay, so it's called the lip. All right, so whenever you put resin, this part of the resin will settle, and now what you can see, the current design that I have made. Okay, over a period of an hour, this is going to change. All right, because it is going to keep shifting. There's going to be a chemical reaction between the resin and the colors that I've poured in, and it is going to keep shifting. From the sides, it is going to keep rising up a little bit, not much. Okay, which will give me this kind of an uneven edge. Okay, most of the people, they prefer to sand it. So like I said, you have sanding paper. You can take sanding paper and you can sand it. All right, and remove this thing because it's a little sharp. Okay, and some people prefer to keep it because it just gives you that geogod effect. Like I said, this uneven edges is called geogod. So it just gives you that effect, which also looks good, which is not bad. Okay, so it's up to you. If you think that your artwork needs sanding, you can always buy a sanding paper. You just need to keep it in a 90-degree angle and sand it. All right. Ensure you don't sand it much, because then you're going to be ripping off all the resin, which you don't want to do. Okay. So that is one thing. The other thing is, usually while working with resin, you need to have a set of gloves. Okay, I'm not wearing gloves because I knew this was a small project. I know how to handle the cups and stuff, so I knew I'm not going to really spill it. But my kind of a backup is the baby wipe, and is my rubbing alcohol, which is my sanitizer. Okay, so in case if I happen to get resin on my hand, which is sticky, you don't want it to be on your hand for a long time. So it's always better you keep a tissue paper or your hand sanitizer handy, because that is going to get the resin off, because it is alcohol based, right? So that's going to get the resin off.
Does it burn when it comes on the
No,
skin?
no, 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 absolutely not. It doesn't burn, but it is very sticky. Okay, it is very sticky. And I didn't know. I was working on a couple of projects. I didn't even realize that my wedding ring had resin on it, and it had become it actually got stuck on it, and it was there. And then I was like, what is this bumpy kind of a thing on the ring? That's when I realized I had resin on it. So it had dried for I don't know how many days, and it was on the ring. All right. So it will not harm you in any manner, but it is always safe that you use gloves. I will be buying my gloves. I actually ran out of gloves. I'll be buying gloves. You use gloves whenever you're working with resin. Okay. Because right now my workspace is clean. I haven't really spilled anything because I have that experience of working with it for quite some time. But for people who are beginners, uh, just ensure that your space is covered with either a cling wrap if you don't have a silicone mat. Okay. Ensure that you have disposable cups. Ensure that you have your stirring spoons. Okay, those are like the basic. All right. And for smaller quantities, if you're mixing resin for smaller quantities, if it's not a coaster, if it's a jewelry mold that you're making, you require really small quantities. One alternative is you have your measuring spoons at home, right? The ones that you think you want to discard, you can use that. Okay. So now they are going to be plastic, they are not going to be silicone. All right. So when you use it to measure. Like you take 3 spoons of resin, pour it into your mold, take 1 spoon of hardener, pour it into your mold, and ensure that you take this wipe and wipe it off. All right, so that you can use that particular spoon for a prolonged period, and you do not need to, because it will harden, it will spoil that plastic. So it's better you wipe your surface off with the tissue or with a baby wipe or something like that. Okay, any questions so far for anyone?
Thank you, Miss.
I'm open to questions. No problem. Any questions? Are you guys interested in resin?
Yes, we can place order, no?
Yeah, definitely. So, like I said, see, I'm not promoting that you buy things from me. Okay, I have my vendor. I find him cheaper. I go to him. Please go on Amazon, do your research. Okay, see what is the cost. All right, and then afterwards, you'll have a better idea of what you're getting into, because resin is going to be expensive. Before I continue, let me just cover this. Otherwise, I'm going to end up throwing something on it.
You got to have a full table with all the pieces, small.
The one you want.
Okay, so whenever I work on my projects, I usually end up covering it with my plates. No harm, like I said, it is not harmful. It is chemical, but it is not harmful for you. Okay, so I'm going to cover my artwork with a plate. All right, I have boxes, I have those box covers, I have different stuff. So if my artwork is bigger, I use a box cover to cover it. Very important, whenever you do your resin artwork, you need one thing is you need to keep it in a place where it is not going to be touched or moved for 24 hours. Okay, because resin keeps shifting and keeps interacting with whatever you put into resin. Okay, so it is going to create a different effect every time. All right, so whatever you've done now is not going to be the final output. You're going to be surprised with the final output. Okay, so it's going to give you a different effect every time. You need to leave it in a place where it is undisturbed for 24 hours, and you need to ensure that you cover it. Okay, like I told you, resin is very sticky. Okay, and over a period of time, it will tend to get hard. Even if there's a fly, or even if there's a dust, or even if there's a drop of water that falls into that, okay, it's going to ruin your effort of whatever you've done. Okay, it will take you hardly 15-20 minutes to whip up everything and make your project, but it is going to take you 24 hours for that project to set. And you don't want anything disturbing your project within that 24 hours. Okay, so I think I have covered all the basics of how to use resin. Okay, I'm looking forward to a lot of people showing me more interest. Probably, in the next session we could do some other coaster. So this is something that I really find interesting. Okay, and if you want to give it a try, like people said that they would be interested in giving it a try with smaller quantity, we can do something like that where I have used this 3 colors. So I've used white on top, and you can use any other color down. And I have used these gold flakes. Okay, so I've not shown you these gold flakes.
Have that liquid.
This is how my gold flakes look like. Okay, so there is very thin foil kind of a structure that is there. Okay, when you mix it up with resin, it really looks very pretty. You get it in 3 colors. This one is more of a copper rose gold color. You get it in gold and silver as well. I have the gold and silver packets, but they're like packets, they're not in the box.
May I?
Ma'am, I just have one
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
How you have written that name, the alphabets on that resin art? Can you do it?
So like I told you at the start, I own a small business. All right. I do customization of stuff. So what I have done is this: I have printed it on a transparent sticker paper. Okay, so it's completely designed and created by me in Photoshop. I have designed this in Photoshop. I have designed that logo in the center for them in Photoshop. Okay, so this is printed on a transparent paper. If I get it closer, you will be able to see I have cut it as well. Can you see that? Can you see the edges?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what my intention was I will do it on a transparent paper. I will stick it up on this resin, and I will put another layer of resin on top and cover it. Okay, so let it dry for 24 hours, and that would have been my final output. What happened on this thing was, this was my first try, and I was really very happy with the outcome. Okay, as you can see, I got this lovely gold effect and stuff. I got this nice effect. I was really happy with it. But then since the couple was not happy with, they did not want this, so and I had put a layer of resin on top of it and let it dry, but then it fell off because it was my first try. I was quite amateur. So this is how it turned out. But yeah, I would like to give it another try, make this coaster once again, okay, with some other colors probably. And I'm sure it really looks pretty. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing images, reference images with you all, so it keeps you motivated, and probably you look forward to doing more work on resin. Okay, so this
Thank
is
you so
something.
much.
Yeah, no worries at all. This is something that I printed on a sticker paper. I just cut it and I have stuck it here.
Okay, got my doubts. Thank you so much.
Cool. Yeah, and just to show you,
One thing.
this is the silver foil. This is the rose gold foil that I had bought. And this is the gold foil. Okay, for the folks who've seen my flower coaster, I've used pressed flowers. Okay, now there are 2 types of dried flowers. This one will give you this kind of an effect. So this is a pressed flower. You can go online. I encourage you, go online on Amazon and check out the rates and stuff. I found it very high, so I picked it up from somewhere else. All right, so this is how your pressed flower will look, and this is the coaster that you can make with the pressed flowers. All right, and I have one more type of flower. This is the dried flower. I haven't used this on any of my artwork yet, okay, because this is more going to give you like a 3D look. All right, for someone who asked me, I remember, Tian, you asked me about those bigger alphabets, right? The bigger alphabets which you could use to make a word or something like that. You can use these kind of flowers because this will give you the 3D effect on those flowers, okay, and then you can just pop in some lights in the center before your resin dries up, and you can use
Even
that as a
I can
lamp.
put glitter also, right?
Absolutely, feel free to customize. Like I said, just your creativity is like the sky is the limit for you with creativity and resin. Okay, there's no right and there's no wrong.
Can we put photographs in?
I can definitely. I said I'm going to be sending out an MOM to Roy Uncle. Okay, I'll be sending out my link, gift cube ka link. Okay, please do follow the page, do like the post that I've put in. All right. Raisin, like I said, is my new venture, and I have learned quite a lot to create a lot of stuff. I'll be sharing images of the work that I have done. I'll be sharing in images of references. If in case if somebody wants to join the next session, we can have another session. I'll be sharing a starter kit with you. All right. It's yet under discussion. So what you would like to learn, we'll get something arranged on that lines, and we'll get a starter kit dispatched to you. And then probably, we can take it forward from there.
Can I
may
ask you something? If we are buying a starter kit from you, suppose it's for coasters, so we will get the coaster mold, right?
Correct.
So what do you think that according to you in that starter kit, approximately how many coasters can we make?
See, usually I would say that you need to have at least 2 molds. Okay, so with me, what I usually do is I buy 2 molds if I have to do. So even if it's a coaster, one coaster doesn't look good. If you have to gift it to someone, or if you're making something, one doesn't look good. It's always better you do 2, right? And if you do the first one, it will, and if you do the second one later, it will just tend to look different. Okay, now because I have experimented with resin for quite some time, I know that okay, this is my proportion and this is what I need to do. If you do 2 things separately, like if you have just one mold, you have that dependency 24 hours ke baad that mold is available. All right, so it's always better you have 2 molds. So if I'm going to be providing a kit, I will ensure that you have 2 molds, you have glitters, you have dried pressed flowers if you want, and you can just like go and give it a try to do something different that you would like.
But in the resin that you will be providing in that kit and the hardener, what do you think that how many can we make out of them?
So that for that question, right now you saw my mold, I have put around 30 grams of resin and hardener. So that means I put 26 grams of resin and then the remaining was hardener. All right. So it was approximately around 35 grams per mold that I'm using. Okay. So now do the calculation. You're getting 300 grams in total. Okay. So even if you're using 40 grams per mold, you can now calculate for 300 grams how many coasters. You can easily get around 8 coasters.
Right. So
Okay, in
quite
the
a bit.
starter kit. Yes. And
So
that
if
too,
we
I
are
am
just
talking about the
starting,
Geogod coasters.
this size,
Because this looks really nice. The plain one is more
Right.
like if you have like the flowers, they will look good on that. Flowers will in fact look good on this also. I'm going to be making, I've got an order for those flower coasters. So I'll be trying making it in this Geogold and giving it this gold trim, which makes it look good. So yeah, I'll be trying doing the flower coasters in that Geogold mold.
Okay, and since we will be starting with the starter kit, just to experiment whether we can get our hands onto it, do we need those weighing scale and stuff?
Not really. I
Can
would
it be
say
a bit approximate?
it doesn't need to be approximate actually. You need to have proper measurements, because if you're not going to have proper measurements, it is not going to mix proper, and then you're going to have that bendy kind of an effect which I showed you. Okay, and that is something you do not want. Okay, that's something that you really do not want, because even if you keep it for like a month or 2 months or 3 months, it's just not going to set. So then there is no use of, that kind of an artwork unless until you have a kid and you want to pop some magnets behind it and put it on the fridge or put it on the cupboard. Okay, so that's like a waste, not entirely waste, but yeah, that's like a
Can we
waste.
use those wooden spoons
can
to
use
measure 3:1?
Yeah, not wooden spoons. You will need to take your measuring spoons. So if you don't want to
Can
invest
I
in
use
the wing scale,
plastic spoons?
sorry.
Can I use plastic spoons?
Yeah, you can use, you can use anything.
Yeah.
Okay, you can use
Anything as long
anything
as we can
as
measure
long
it.
as both
Yeah.
the measurements
Measuring
are
should
the
be
same.
fine. Okay.
Perfect. You use
Right.
your teaspoon, use 3 teaspoon of raisin, use 1 teaspoon of hardener.
Right.
It is going to mix
Okay.
proper. You
Yes.
don't specifically need the weighing scale unless until you are
Yes.
doing it in a bigger batch.
The measurement should be
Yeah.
proper. That's it.
Measurement should be exactly the same. If you're using this, you're going to use that for the same for the hardener as well. That's it.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
Yvonne, may I ask you something, please?
Yes, definitely.
I joined in a bit late, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm asking you to repeat something.
No
But
worries.
when you showed us certain articles with a little bit of glitter in it,
Yeah.
okay, shimmer or glitter. When exactly or even if they are dried flowers or whatever, when exactly in that process do we add these things?
So basically, now for this, okay, this one, the glitter
Yeah.
wala stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
If you notice, what I have done on this one is I have first poured a layer of transparent resin with glitter. Okay,
Okay.
a fine coat of glitter with transparent resin so that I have this side empty. Okay, and then I have poured in this pink color.
The colored
Just to,
one.
yeah, just to give it the background color. Okay.
Okay.
So what I did was I poured in the glitter, I poured in some transparent resin on one side. I let it set for around 10 to 12 hours, and then I did the next pour, which was the pink color.
Okay, fine. The same would be with flowers.
Yes, for flowers, it was almost a similar approach. So for this guy, what I did was I put in my flowers first, then I poured in. So first you have to put your transparent coat of, yeah. Then you put your flowers. Then I put in some, can you see? I put in these gold foil.
Yes.
All right. Very important. If you have gold foil, you can just drop it in and it will just make your artwork look pretty. Okay. So that's what I have done. I've put in gold foil. I've let this dry and then I have poured in the black color.
Okay, fine.
What would happen if I wouldn't have let it dry? The black color would have actually seeped through all these flowers and you would not be able to see this at all.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So very important. Like I said, it has time and patience required. Give it some time, give it some patience, give it some love. You'll have the best output.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much.
Okay, can I ask you for how long must you dry it?
So for the flowers, I gave it around 12 hours and it was hard. It dried to a hard kind of a consistency, and that's when I did my second pour. And the second pour, I let that like settle down for 15 hours in total, and that's when I demolded it. I removed it from the silicone mold and I just kept it on a flat surface and let it dry for another few hours to complete that 24-hour cycle.
Can you keep resin in the fridge?
No.
No.
No, you cannot keep it in the fridge. It's not going to do anything. I mean, like, you don't need to keep it in the fridge or anything. You just need to keep it outside. So it's just like a gum. It's like a very sticky adhesive kind of a thing. You don't keep adhesive in the fridge. You don't need to keep this in the fridge. It doesn't need any place where you need to keep it in the fridge. Just keep it in a dry place, and it will be there, away from direct sunlight, obviously.
Thank you.
No, but once you mix it, you have to use it.
Once you mix it, you have to use it. You
can't
don't
keep
have
it.
an option. Yeah, because even if you're going to keep it in the fridge, even if you're going to keep it in the kitchen, even if you're going to keep it on the gas, it's just going to harden. Okay, as per the timeline, it's just going to harden. If you mix it in the right proportions, it's going to harden. So it's always better that, whenever you mix the resin, do not reuse it. Do not remix a new batch into it. Okay, just use it and finish it off. Invest in these tiny molds, which I have. Invest in these tiny molds so that you can at least make charms. If you're making resin keychains, you can at least have charms. You can connect charms to your keychains. So you can do that. Just don't let your resin get wasted and get dried in the cup. Okay, because it is expensive. I've learned it the hard way. It is expensive. Don't let it dry in the cup. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
when you put the flowers into the transparent mold, I mean, in the, with the transparent, you put the flowers face down, right?
I did, yes. I put the flowers face down. There is another experiment that I am trying out, okay, where I want to see how my flowers turn out. So for this experiment, I put it face down. You are absolutely correct on that one. But for the next one, I will be facing it upward. Okay, so I had some extra resin yesterday, so I've created this black mold. So what I have done is now I have poured in black. I have just let this set. Okay, and now I'm going to put my flowers facing upward and then drop the transparent resin. So that's the second approach that I'm trying on this one.
Okay.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes, definitely.
Yvonne, for the transparency, the mold which you use the flowers.
Yeah.
Now the transparent and the black at the base. More or less, can you give us in your MOM, if you can just tell us like what kind of quantity you use for transparent and for the base, you know, because you know it has a setting time of like 15 hours. Before we could put the other color. So like, you know, in the beginning when it's like when we are starters, like I wouldn't know exactly like how much product to mix in order to just put in the first layer and then
yes, no worries. I'll do that. Don't worry. I'll
Yeah.
drop in that in the M1.
Yeah, please.
Yes,
So
definitely.
Yvonne, your YouTube will have all the basic, I mean, totally tutorial of starting from the scratch again. It has.
No, I don't have a YouTube channel, unfortunately, because I
No,
don't
you
use it
said
in
to link what to follow. The link you said you will be
Instagram.
sending the link. Acha,
Instagram.
Insta. Okay.
Instagram
Okay.
and Facebook. Okay. So that's my business account. You can follow that. Okay. You can always reach out to me personally on my WhatsApp. I'm in the group. Okay. And whenever you plan to start, even if you're buying your own resin from outside, I'm more than happy to guide you. Okay. I have absolutely no issues with you guys wanting to try out something. I'll be even more happier if you want to just give it a try, and you're buying it from outside, you have it with you available, and you are stuck somewhere, reach out to me. I will help you out. That's not a problem.
Sure. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah,
Eva,
just to show you. Yes.
you spoke about the
I'll just show you one thing about this. This is where I have used that mica powder. Remember, I told you it's an eyeshadow. Can you see the effect?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
looks
basically,
lovely.
right. So and can you see this one more thing over here? Can you see this?
Yes.
You know what that is? Those are bubbles.
Yeah, I know. They look like bubbles, right?
Okay,
But they look
they are
nice.
bubbles.
But
Yeah,
they look nice. They look nice
so
there.
so what had happened was these guys, they just remained in the center. All right, they didn't surface. So what I usually do is, which I'm going to do right now on the current coaster that I have done, what you have to do usually, okay, is you need to torch your artwork. All right, and by torching it, what I mean is, now we've let it set for like more than 15-20 minutes. Okay, so this is a lighter that I have. All right, this is like a kitchen lighter, nothing different. All right, why I have bought this long nozzle lighter? I have a kitchen lighter, but I bought this long nozzle lighter because it just becomes easier to flame my artwork. Okay, so what happens is, your bubbles will keep rising up for the next half an hour. All right, not necessarily that you need to keep coming back and popping bubbles and stuff. That's okay. Once you've done it one time, I think that should be enough. All right, but be very careful that you don't burn your silicone mold. Okay, so don't hold the fire for a longer time. Just torch it up and just see it at an angle. What I usually do is I just see it
What
at an
if
angle with
I am unable to use the lighter?
it is better that you use a lighter, okay, because you'll have bubbles. All right, and bubbles are going to ruin your artwork. I just showed you one of my coaster. All right, so in some places it will look nice, it will look very fancy, but not everywhere. If there's a bubble at on the surface, you will not be able to keep a glass. So what's the use of having a coaster?
Yeah.
Right? It's just going to give you that bumpy effect. You don't want that. And your clients or whoever you're giving that coaster to, be it your personal relative or whoever it is, they wouldn't want that bumpy kind of an effect, right? So it's always better you torch your artwork, okay, before letting it sit for the next 10 to 12 hours. Torch your artwork so that you remove the bubbles.
When you torch your artwork, does the fire touch the material?
Yes, the fire touches the material. In fact, the fire settles on the top layer, so it will not penetrate or something. It will settle on the top layer and will just ensure that all the bubbles are popped up. So
But the fire won't go onto the silicone mold?
It goes on the silicone mold as well, but you just need to ensure that you're not taking it for a longer duration on the silicone mold. The mold will not melt. If you keep it for a couple of seconds, your mold will not melt.
It won't melt. Okay.
No. But just ensure that you're not keeping it for a very long time on that one part of that silicone mold. Just keep moving it around.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Yvonne, what do you call that lighter? That's a very different type.
It's a normal lighter actually. It's not called anything. It's just, so basically this was not something that I was supposed to pick up. I was supposed to pick up a blowtorch. Okay, now I have a little one in my house. She's around 2 years. She's very inquisitive. She spoiled my many resin projects, and I had that fear that she's going to take that lighter or that blowtorch and she's going to burn the whole house down. So I didn't bring that blowtorch. Okay, the blowtorch is a smaller thing. It's used more for your culinary work. Okay, so whenever people are cooking and stuff, they have that fish and they just want to torch it from top. That's when they use that blowtorch. Okay, and that is something that you need to use for this. This one is a lighter. Okay, this does the job. Yeah, this does the job. You just need to ensure that you pop the bubbles. So I think, yeah.
Thank you.
That's it.
But the bubbles are visible, no?
Yeah, your bubbles are visible. If you see it in an angle where there's a light on it, no? Like I usually bend down and I try and I see if my layer is leveled or something like that. That's when you'll be able to see bubbles. And bubbles are the most irritating part because they just tend to gather around the rim.
Edge.
All right. Yeah, on the edge. And trust me, it just doesn't give you a very good effect. So that's why it's better that you torch your artwork. Okay, any more questions?
So how many times would you have to touch the surface? Just once?
Do it once and leave it. It should be fine. Okay. The key is mixing it slowly. When you mix it slowly, you will not have a lot of bubbles. Okay. When you mix it fast, there'll be bubbles in the center, which will keep rising for the next 1 hour, for the next 2 hours. And you are not going to keep going and touching your artwork after 1 hour, 2 hours, unless until you are a professional and you have hands-on on this. Okay. So I would not recommend mixing it fast. If you mix it slowly, I think it should be fine. And then you can just torch it once, leave it for 10-15 minutes, torch it once, and that should do the job.
When you torch it, the bubbles come to the top, is it?
No, when you torch it, the bubbles pop. So what happens is when you've done your pour, okay, the bubbles are still in the center or still at the base or somewhere. All right, and they will tend to rise up eventually. Like I told you, resin keeps reacting and it keeps shifting and keep moving because of all the things that we've thrown into it. It will keep changing the way it looks. Okay, so that's when the bubbles will be released. So this one that I use, the epoxy resin that I use, that has this auto bubble release, right, which I showed you on the bottle. That means it will get the bubbles on top. All you need to do is just pop it.
So you have to have that lighter.
Yeah, but see, even if you have at your home, even if you have a normal cigarette lighter, I think it should do the job. But then you have that fear of, getting your thumb burnt or something like that, because you have to take it at this angle.
Yeah, you have to take it here.
Yeah, you have to take it at this angle.
Yeah,
so
this is safer with a long spout.
Exactly. It has got this long nozzle, so it is more safer.
Yvonne, you spoke about using resin on a tabletop.
Yeah.
There when we pour it, because the tabletop doesn't have an edge, it can spill. So how to?
Yes. So usually what people do is you have this masking tape, that is your paper tape. Okay. Yeah. You can cover the edges by the paper tape. It is going to fall off. All right. So what you need to do is, now if I need to coat my current table, I'm going to put a plastic sheet below underneath. All right. I'm going to add masking tape on the side. and then I'm going to do my pour. So even if it falls off, that is fine. My floor is protected and my table edge is protected.
Okay.
All right. So you can pour it on the table and you can get that done. So you can do your trays, okay, your serving trays. You can do that. You can give a marble effect. You can give a beach effect, like one of them mentioned. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, you can do it on trays. Wood is like the best base to use for resin, because you'll be using lesser resin and you have a base. Okay, so now coasters that I have shown you is complete resin coasters. Okay, they are expensive because of resin being expensive. Your base input is expensive. There are coasters that are made with MDF boards. Now, what is MDF board? They are wooden sliced boards.
Yes.
So they are circle, square, all these different shapes, hexagon and all. All you need to do is mix your resin, and then you just need to do a casting on top. You don't need to do you just need to do a coating on top, not a casting.
Yeah, coating, but then that will pour out outside,
So
or
no, even if it pours out outside, how you would work with an MDF board is, I will just show you an example. This is my MDF board. Okay, I'm going to keep it on a elevated surface. All right, so this is my glass. I'm going to keep it on an elevated surface. I'm going to cover the edges with a masking tape. Paper tape. I'll cover that with the paper tape and let the paper tape run down, so you can close the paper tape off on the back side. All right. I'll do my pour on top. Even if there are drips falling down, nothing is going to affect your coaster.
Acha, got it. Yeah.
Getting it? So that is a
Yes,
more cheaper and efficient way of working with resin, but you will not get this transparent effect. If you're looking for this transparent effect, that you will need to do it with complete resin coaster, not with MDF.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No worries. Any more questions?
For those tiny earrings, is there a mold, or how did you do that?
There is a mold. There is a mold. In fact, I was working on a couple of earrings and I wanted to kind of showcase it on this call. Unfortunately, they are not still like fully dried up. Like the set is not dried up. So
Okay.
yeah. So now this is one of the thing. This is another one. All right. I'll be connecting it with a ring in the center. You can see there are two dots. I'll be connecting it in the center, and I'll be putting in that the one that I put for my stud. I'll be putting that over here. Okay, so I'll be gluing that together. So this is one set of my earring that I have created. There are many more. There are different kind of shapes that I have. Okay, this is one of them.
Yes.
Okay, and to show you the mold, this is my mold. I've just used it, so I've not kind of cleaned it, but this is the mold that I'm using. So if you're interested in creating earrings, all right, just drop a text to me. If you are requesting me to provide you with the resin, just drop a text to me. I could probably just pick up a earring mold as well for you, so we can just customize your starter kit. Okay, I would recommend not to start off with earrings. Okay, why? Because they are tiny. All right, your molds are tiny. You will need to invest in things like this. All right, so this has this dropper kind of a thing. This has this thing to drop. It just makes it easier to pour. So you will, if you're making 2 or 3 different kind of colors in your earrings, you will need these kind of thing, because it becomes easier to pour.
Easier to pour. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be, so before that, I would request you to start off with coasters or start off with something big. Okay, once you have your hands on understanding the ratio, once you have your hands on doing everything, that's when you can go to these tiny ones.
Okay, follow.
Okay, because this is really tiny and it is really intricate. I had a hard time doing it. I have done these 2 colors which I just showed you. I've done these 2 colors, orange and yellow, and I had a hard time doing it.
Okay.
Because so if you can see, there were some spills outside, and especially for this one, can you see the shape?
Yeah.
On this one, I actually had the resin on the center, so then it spoils my output. So it will not give me the output that the mold is supposed to give, because I have resin fallen in the center, and then it is going to join and it's going to create an additional line. Getting it?
Yes.
So it's a little complicated, and I would request you, if you want to, it's a good thing. Obviously, you can always do it, but
I
do
thought
it.
I thought being smaller items, no, that would be easier. Okay.
Smaller items, like if you want, I can get you this. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
next Christmas ke liye, you could probably, make some of these Christmas ornaments.
Yes.
All right. And you can have this in place. So this is also small, but it's not as small as your earrings. And
yeah,
I'm sure you can do your pores in this. So you can
Here,
use your
here,
yeah.
here you said we could add lights. How can that
Yes.
be done?
So these rice lights, I've bought them. I have them, but I've not used them.
The LED lights.
Yeah, the one with the battery and stuff. I haven't used them in any of my resin artwork yet because I didn't want to. But yeah, this guy's battery is gone. Okay, so this is the light that I get, the copper wire lights. Okay, I have seen people making those alphabets, like Tian asked me. So if you make those big alphabets with your flowers, not the pressed flowers, but with the live dried flowers, the big one, the 3D flowers, pop this into the alphabet. Okay. So when your resin is wet, all you need to do is open this, and just unevenly just drop it into the resin. All right, and let it dry. Let it dry for 24 hours. And and this thing will be out, right? Your battery output will be out. The rest of it will be in. Just let it dry. You will have an amazing night lamp.
Okay.
A resin night lamp, an alphabet resin night lamp.
Okay.
I have actually, there's also this thing called as resin figures. Okay, that is very complicated. You can make nice tiny figures. You get molds for that. You can make nice tiny figures, but you have to paint them. So if you make a white figure, just pour white into the normal figure mold. Once you remove them out, you have to paint them. Okay, so I've not touched on that. I know that somebody was interested in knowing about that. I haven't touched base on that one, but yeah, that's also something that you can do with resin.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Lot of things that you can do. All right. Since now you have the basic knowledge of resin, you have the basic knowledge of UV resin. Go online, watch tutorials, educate yourself. All right, and I'm always there. So if you want, to get some additional information, you think that there's something missing somewhere, just reach out to me. I am there on WhatsApp. All right, I have no issues answering your questions even after this. Okay, and if you want a starter kit, you want to start off with it, you think Amazon is expensive, reach out to me. Go do your experiments in terms of the costing, in terms of everything. If you're looking at it as a business opportunity, I've got a basket full of shiny stuff that I haven't used yet. Okay, so for me, it's like I just buy stuff and I keep it, and then when I think that okay, it will look good here, that's when I use it. So if you feel like that okay, you need to buy stuff and keep it, no worries, you can buy, keep it, use it whenever you want. You have resin, you have hardener, mix it, make your creative stuff. Nothing is wrong. All right, you have silicone mold, make whatever you want, give it a try.
Yes. Thank you so much.
No worries, I will drop in the information on the group. All right, to follow me, and I will also drop in the MOM later today. I'll actually create images of references that you can probably look at and be inspired to take it up as something that you would like to do as an artist.
Yes.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Anything else?
Yes. Before we end, Tian,
Yes, uncle.
can you propose a vote of thanks to Yvonne?
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful explanation. We had a really good time, and thank you once again.
No worries, the pleasure is all mine. I had a very good set of audience. So yeah, very interested set of audience. So I'm happy that you've gained a lot of information from this session. And yes, if you want to have one more session, we have Uncle Roy.
Yes.
To put us live on YouTube.
Yeah, you are live on YouTube at the moment.
I can see that.
Whatever you say is, I can't edit it. Acha, secondly, I want to ask but you are also into printing t-shirts and all that, then printing mugs, printing something else, so many other creatives that you do. You can do one session like this.
So for the people who are on the call still, thank you for staying back. Okay. And like Uncle Roy said, I like to put my hands into everything. Okay. So I got married like 5 years back. I put my hand into making wedding bouquets. All right. I was very interested in doing that. And I actually ended up making my own bridesmaid bouquets. Okay. I'll pop pictures of that as well. I have a separate page for that. And I have done wedding bouquets for a couple of people whom I know who are very close to me, and they were finding bouquets pretty expensive. Nowadays it's all about making money, right? But for me it was more about the art. I didn't want to make money out of it. For me, I just wanted to, make something good and offer it to people. All right. So I know making wedding bouquets. I am not sure how many people would like to be interested in doing that, but yeah, if you all want that, we can do that session. I know I'm a graphic designer, so I design t-shirts. I've done a lot of t-shirt printing for rose events, for wedding events, wherein you have the bride and the groom and their entourage wearing the t-shirts for the rose. So we've done a lot of that for mostly for people in Borivali, because my sister and my brother-in-law then they keep getting me business from there. So we've done that. We do a lot of t-shirt printing in general. Okay, so if you have something that you want to print, like you've got your family photo that you want to print, or you've got some theme for a birthday or something like that, we do that. If you have something in mind, you have a reference, you want it exactly like that, you can count on me. I know how to design. I'll do that for you. Okay. And we do a lot of mug printings and stuff. So we've got our mug printing as well. I will be taking a session, like Roy Uncle said. He is very interested in learning the t-shirt and mug printing. I'll cover both of them in one session. Okay, because we've got these huge machines that we have, okay, for printing t-shirts and mugs and stuff. So the setup is going to be different. This is my place. My mom stays one floor above me, so I'm going to be going to her house and getting that done. So we'll have a session on t-shirt and mug printing as well. Yeah, just to give you a background about everything that I do as a hobby and in general.
And you can do, just to let you know, Yvonne, I think Deodit is also here. Just to let you know that we have on Thursdays this tips and tricks, Now, since you are on the graphics and many of them are on Photoshop, so maybe, you could show us some tips and tricks on that.
Definitely, I don't mind.
Yeah, but the thing is that tips and tricks is the Thursday program, Thursday at noon. So whenever we have the full year.
So what I can do is, can I make like a video? No, but then people will have questions. That's the problem. Yeah.
See, no, like how we want to see you live like this, no? That way.
No worries. I'll try. I won't promise you for the Thursday one.
You have until December now.
Oh wow! Got like another 11 months.
Yeah, because we never thought. We are almost 2 years into pandemic and 2 years into these shows.
I know, actually.
Yeah, it started with something and now we are continuing with something else.
No, but it's a very good forum. I'm really happy that a lot of people joined in. And
yeah. A lot of people learned a lot.
I actually also attended a couple of the terrarium one or something that you were there. I joined in a couple of sessions wherein somebody was cooking also. So yes, so a lot to learn. Good forum, very good platform, and I'm happy people are taking the advantage of actually spending some time and doing this. So it's good.
So thank you once again, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for all of you guys.
Were you there last week? We did the bonsai thing.
No, I was not there last week. Mummy was there, I think. My mom is very active.
Okay.
Excuse me,
with the
Yvonne?
little one? Yeah.
I have another question.
Yes,
with the starter kit, do you think how would it be possible to ship it to Pune? Is it possible? Or do I have to find someone here in Pune to?
I am not sure of someone in Pune. I'm sure you have resin and someone who's supplying resin everywhere, but I'm not sure about the Pune contact. See, the shipping will any which ways be extra. What I can do is I can probably create the starter kit, understand what is the weight, and then in terms of delivery, I can tell you that this is going to be the cost for the delivery types. That's one thing that I could probably do. Yeah, because in Pune I don't know anyone who will be able to provide you with
Probably
stuff,
you can ask
or probably Amazon.
You can ask your vendor if he has a contact in Pune, and maybe
I can check
get
with
in
him.
touch
Yeah,
with that
definitely.
person.
No worries. I can definitely speak to him. Yeah, I can definitely speak to him. If not, Amazon is your go-to because
Yeah,
they
because
have
that
everything.
delivery, so then it would be rather Amazon.
Actually,
Amazon
no,
would be a
if
better bet.
yeah, obviously, because if you're going to
Yeah.
end up paying delivery charges, it's better
Then
that you
I'd
buy
rather
from
get it off
Amazon.
Amazon.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense.
In that pursuit of saving 200-300 bucks, you're ending up paying 200-300 bucks in shipping. So it's better you take it from Amazon. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. No worries.
All right, but if there is a vendor, if your
If
vendor
there
knows
is,
somebody in Pune,
I
then
will speak to the guy, definitely. I will speak to
yeah,
the guy if you're able to save a couple
I'll
of bucks.
message you separately on that, and
No worries.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shashwat, if I might ask you,
Much. I've learned a lot.
Shashwat,
Welcome.
It's not Shashwat. Actually, Shashwat's my son. My name is Ilona.
oh, you're Ilona. Okay.
Yes, I am Ilona.
Okay. I'm sorry. But you come through, Mahesh?
No, I've come through Maria.
Okay. Maria. All right. Many of them have come through Maria.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Roy, and thank you.
You're
Yvonne.
welcome. I put it
You're
in the group.
And any more other links and sessions?
Yeah.
Do mail us.
Ilona,
Yes.
I added you to this group, but almost every week we have a lot of shows,
Okay.
So you will be informed, and whichever suits your interest, you can always join in.
Surely, Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's never an issue.
Okay.
I wanted to ask one more thing to Tian. You're in school or college? What are you doing?
I am in college now.
You just gone. That means what? 11th class.
11th, yeah.
All right. Okay, great. And you are from which part of Bombay, Tian?
I am from Andheri.
Andheri where?
You like to think so much to say that.
Andheri Marol.
I am.
Acha, you're from. Yeah, like she's of space.
I know, like.
Acha, you're from Marol.
Yes, I'm from Marol.
There are quite a few from that. What is the name? Vincent de Paul, no?
Yes, I am from that parish. Yes.
Parish, yeah. There are a lot of people who are in other groups from there. And how did you hear about us? Maria?
Yes, Maria.
I thought as much. Anyway, we had a wonderful session. I think maybe next month, Yvonne?
Yeah, next month we can do it.
Yvonne, from where are you?
I stay pretty close to Roy uncle.
She's my neighbor, man. And she's Rosie's daughter. You know Rosie, no?
Oh, from our parish.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was that our flock news.
I used to design the flock news when Father Joshin came in. I used to design the flock news.
Yeah, she is the backbone of the flock news those days.
Good.
That was the first time when I met her after the 10 o'clock mass. And then they said that she said she's my daughter and she's doing this. From that time itself, I had my eyes on her. One day she will come on the show. I did. And today is the day she has come.
Yeah, today is the day. Actually, Roy uncle gave me a lot of boost to do this session. Otherwise, I was like, I don't know whether I'll be, because frankly speaking, I'm a working person. I also handle my small business, like I just did mention, and I have a little one who takes up 80% of my day. So it gets very difficult to manage all these activities. But then Uncle Roy told me, he gave me a very good push. He spoke to me for, I think, half an hour, right? He spoke to me for quite some time and he gave me a very good push and he told me, do it, people will learn. And I was like, good, I think I have made my mark, so I'm happy with that.
Brilliant.
Definitely.
We thought about 1 hour or 45 minutes and now it's almost 3 hours.
I know, actually.
How
Facebook
time
Live.
Yvonne,
yes?
Yvonne, I would really like to say that the session was absolutely phenomenal and you have truly risen the standards of our creativity.
Oh,
I wish you all success. It was so beautiful, the session.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much, Lara. Thank you.
Lara is also very creative. Huh? Hey, Lara,
I know. I heard your conversation.
Lara, you should do her one of the actual hands-on training with the Yvonne.
I'm a nice big zero.
No.
Can't match up to these standards.
No. There is nothing to match up.
She will raise you, man. She will raise you up. Don't worry.
There's nothing to match up with Lara.
Raising me up. Raising me up.
Raising you up. The reason will raising you up. But because Lara writes some fantastic stuff,
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Very nice.
One day she will also do a presentation, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be there, Lara, for you. I'll write a couple of nice words for you too.
Uncle Roy is the king of this kingdom. So, I mean,
I
because of
know.
him, I think all of us
Of the queendom.
at the moment of the queendom, because I can see all beautiful ladies on this
I
call.
can see all beautiful ladies too.
Most of my shows are ladies shows. I have a bunch of them, you know.
No, but we had a good set of participants.
Yeah, we had a good set of, we had a good set of all good, interesting.
Very nice. So, when can I have like a follow-up session? I mean, like, I'm just checking because if people are interested, I'll need to plan it for the month, like in the month of February or something. I mean, I'm not sure if people would want to do something for 14th of Feb or something.
Actually, I was supposed to ask if you would be having a follow-up session before Valentine's Day.
See, I don't mind having a follow-up session. It just depends on who wants to, kind of.
You have to have the kits in place, yeah.
I will have to have the kits in place. I'll have to dispatch it to you before the session.
Correct.
Give me some time. Let me have a look at the calendar, okay,
Fine.
and let me have things arranged based on. So I'll need to get a response from people first. I can create the kit, or probably you can go off and pick it up from Amazon, like someone from Pune was mentioning. I have no worries. Okay, we can then do a follow-up session once I receive a lot of response from you guys. We'll do it probably before Valentine's Day, so that at least you have something, either keychains, either coasters, something that you can probably practice on for Valentine's Day.
Correct. I was thinking of the small tiny hearts that you showed us, the mold on the hearts. So that could go in as a keychain, or even maybe a magnet also.
Yeah, so I have this small mold that I told you about.
Correct.
I have these small hearts. Okay, I bought these different kind of molds.
They look like cookies.
Yeah. So this what happened was I was making that heart, right? The bigger heart. So there was a lot of this solution that was remaining. I didn't want to throw it out, and that's the reason why I made these tiny charms out of it. Okay, I can always make a hole in this, and I can always link it to my keychain. So the proportion will be like this. So this is my keychain, and this is my charm. When
Or a pendant,
I have
or a
the key ring,
pendant as well.
or you can make a pendant. You can do whatever you want. Okay. So, but I'm not sure if you. So basically, I'm not sure of the molds. If you have the molds, if you don't have the molds, let me know. Okay. Like I said, for me, it is going to be more of going to the shop and picking up what you guys want to work on. I don't want to, make a starter kit with the coaster and just give it to you guys and say that, okay, this is how we make it. All right. I want you guys to
actually work on it.
No, what you require?
A battery died out.
I've got these chocolate molds and hearts. Of silicone ones. So could I use those? I think you could be muted then, because we can't hear you.
No, her battery, what she said, her battery is down.
I can hear her.
No, I can't.
Mariola, then you can talk to me.
Yeah, so what I was thinking is, since I've got these silicone molds with me, I was thinking of making small heart shapes, and actually planning to make some chocolates for Valentine's Day, which I normally do. And I thought, since this class came up, maybe I could add one or two charms, of hearts, raisin hearts in it, and give it as a
small gift pack.
A gift, like a hamper, sort of like a hamper.
Correct.
So I was still working on all those things, and then this today's session came up, so I was a little bit interested about making some charms in raisin.
Mariola, I heard your stuff, and that's a very good. Because a lot of people are into packaging nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay. So it obviously looks very pretty when you have other stuff supporting your package. Okay. So for this, I have some ideas on the raisin mold that you can use to make your small tiny hearts that you can use as fillers. Okay. Because I was also planning of getting that done separately. It is called as a bag of love. Okay.
Okay.
So you get these tiny uniform shaped hearts. All right. You have a silicone mold, a chocolate mold that you have these tiny hearts. Just fill it up halfway.
Okay.
So you have your raisin hearts in pastel colors.
Okay.
Okay. Again, Mariola, I'm going to send you a reference on that one. I have a lot of reference. I'll be sending you a reference on that one.
Fine.
So you could use that for your chocolate packing, and it is going to work really amazing. It's going to work really well.
Okay. Let me try.
I'll show you, then you'll understand what I'm talking about, because that you can make around 50 hearts in one mold. You have these chocolate molds of heart. You can make 50 hearts in one mold, and then you can go ahead and use that as your fillers or your packing or whatever you're going to be using. That's something that I thought of. I was going to share it, but then I just didn't get that mold, when I went to my vendor. I just forgot picking up that mold, and I was like, I went and I go berserk whenever I go there. I just go like, oh, I want this. Oh, I want this. It's like those small kids in the candy shop. I want this. I want this. I want this. Yeah. So for me, it's like that when I go there, and he has different stuffs every time. So it becomes a challenge for me to understand what I really want.
Correct.
So I usually go and I pick up a lot of stuffs. I end up like shopping every time I go there. I end up picking up $4,000-5,000 stuff. And then I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to preserve it now?
No, it happens.
So you saw my basket. I filled it up with all these sparkles and stones and this and that and all many cute stuff. Okay. It's just that I just still don't know where I'm going to use it. That's the only thing. But yeah, I'm going to eventually use it. That's the reason why I bought it. But yeah, I had that idea. I'm going to share that image with you where you could use that as a reference.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much.
No worries.
And thanks once again to Roy and to Yvonne who conducted the class. It was truly a very enlightening one. Learned a lot.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tian.
Hey, let me see my niece.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Uncle,
Thank you, Roy.
Uncle. Let me see her. She's gone?
No, she's there.
No, she's there.
No problem at all. Please do give me a shout out on WhatsApp, right? I'm easily available. If I don't respond, I will respond back to you in the same day.
The beauty of our show
just
is
a little
when
caught
we
up with
started 2 years back, we started with one teacher who taught us photography. And in that class, there was one lady who knew cooking. So of course, this is two different subjects, So we created another group called the Culinaries. Okay. And we started having a culinary show. Somebody in the culinary show said, I can do this craft. So from culinary, we went to craft. Then someone from the craft said, I can create a do-it-yourself. So we have grown, and within a year or two, we have got more than 10, 15 subjects under our umbrella.
Which is good.
Yeah. Very nice. Very true.
So that's why I said, and we find our teachers among us only.
Yeah, actually, we have a lot of talented people.
Yeah, within us, we have a lot of talent, It's not that we get outsiders. No. That's why I was talking to Mahesh, The other day when I spoke to him, I think it was past midnight when he called me up and we were talking. And I said, no, I was talking to him, trying to, he must be wondering whether I'm getting him a marriage proposal or what. That I'm talking to him. And as we spoke, he's told me so much about himself. I said, Mahesh, you have to come on our show one day. When you come on
and I'm here today. It was actually very nice, the show. This one, whatever classes you conducted was very interesting. But only problem was with me was I was getting connected off and on.
But see, the problem is if the lion is always in the jungle only, no?
Yeah. I
your
have
area.
Very poor network. So maybe I will have a one-to-one with you. I'll talk and I want for some more information for everyone.
Yes.
I'll get in touch with you once the class is over.
No, you are one-to-one only now with me.
Yeah.
You're talking to me, I'm talking to you.
Yeah. And I wanted to know with this vendor of yours, will you be sharing the address and telephone number of the person?
Yes, everything.
Where I can refer your name and ask them to, whenever I go, I'll pick up some stuff from them whenever I'm in town.
Yes.
Because I have to come all the way from Panvel and see what is the address.
Yeah.
So I have to really prepare myself to come in advance.
Yes.
Okay.
For those who don't know, Yvonne, which our teacher Yvonne. No, you're also teacher. She's also our principal Yvonne. Where is she?
I'm here.
So Mahesh,
yeah,
is an industrial electronic engineer. Okay,
that was my profession.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Now I'm into
He
farming.
spent the best part of his life in Saudi Arabia.
I
Doing
was
a
there
lot
for
of
about, yeah, I was there for about 18 years.
18 years.
Yeah.
But then he came back to my old India, and today he's with a lot of NGOs in that area, you know, uplifting the.
Basically, I do a bit of
Tribal.
social work on the education front.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, he's
Very
with the
nice.
tribals.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so
I'm
I
a
thought,
member of Forum for Fairness in Education. I guess most of them must have heard, because we are always at loggerheads with our government.
Yeah.
Government education department and all.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good to hear.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very
Good,
much.
good. All the very best.
Yeah. Thank you. And same to you too. It
Thank
was very
you.
interesting. Very interesting. Now I am really, what do you call, very much eager to start with.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, you know, Yvonne, he's got a bunch of tribal students there.
Okay.
In
Okay.
Panvel and beyond.
Okay.
And, you know, he's trying to empower them.
Oh, lovely.
By them learning some of these kind of
actually,
skill sets.
Yeah, I was just thinking like these guys, if we can make them, you know, self-sustaining, they would learn some vocational training. See, this is the second step which I'm going to take at a later stage when I am through with my farming, when it is set. So I'm going to plan to start teaching these children some crafts, and as you said, like you are into printing, even I was into digital. This one, when I came back to India.
Okay.
After I left Saudi Arabia, I was into printing. I had my own printing press. We were a one-stop digital print solution in Bombay.
Oh.
So we used to do stuff. So I wanted to teach these children, like, you know, handmade paper, these things and all, bags and all. There are a lot of things which we can make by hand. So if they can sustain themselves, because these children, they don't go to school and all. In fact, now we are planning to open a homeschooling system, open school. We'll be teaching them, these children, these arts and all, and alongside we'll be teaching them to read and write. At least they would know.
Correct.
This is my plan at a later stage.
Very noble. Nice.
Yeah.
Just remember,
nice.
you won't just remember his name, huh? One day
Yeah.
you know that
I drilled it in the head.
Yeah, Maxey Award and all that. No, you'll find him. Then we can say we were on this forum together.
Yeah, actually. Actually.
He's doing noble work in Panvel and that tribal areas.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
It's good to know we have so many different skill sets actually.
Yeah.
It's a collection. So somebody can teach something to someone. It would be an advantage.
True. Very true. Lovely.
Yeah, he just finished one plowing session and he's come and sat here, I think. He's running. He's doing farming, you know.
I know he didn't mention.
Yeah. Currently he's a farmer. So from an electronic engineer, he's become a farmer.
It's always good to learn different stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as long as you're interested.
Actually, I've been looking for an opportunity to start with farming quite some time back. For the past 10-15 years, I've been doing this, but in a very small way, in a terrace. And I was looking for a good place now. So I've got a nice place of 2 acres where I can experiment with all the traditional method of farming. So we do farming purely on a traditional method, which is purely on cow-based, cow urine and cow dung and all. So natural stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best
doing
organic
research, getting in touch with people from our place in South India, where they're doing traditional farming for the past so many years and getting good yield, good results.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's very nice.
Brilliant. So
Okay, it was nice talking to
lovely.
you.
Same here.
Yvonne,
Yes.
Mahesh says he'll keep in touch with you.
Definitely. My pleasure.
Yeah. And the other Yvonne can keep in touch with me.
She left the group, I think.
No, she's here.
Oh, she's there. Sorry, your camera's on. I thought she's left.
No, I fool around with her because she's 1 year younger to me. Huh?
Oh.
Mahesh is, we are both of the same age. Mahesh and
Okay.
myself.
Almost, yes.
Yeah, we're
And,
almost same age. The only
I'm
thing
60
is,
plus,
Mahesh,
65.
I never worked in a farm. Mahesh works in a farm. So that difference can be seen.
I would like to invite all of you once when it is set
When the COVID
properly.
pandemic ends.
Yeah, we are in the beginning stage now. It's hardly a month now I'm into it. So practically started. So once maybe a month or so later, I would definitely invite you to come there.
Lovely. Where about in Panvel, you said, right?
This is, yeah, New Panvel. It's a bit towards Maldunga, where Salman Khan's farm is there. It's before that, about 5-10 kilometers before that. It's on the same road.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what are you trying to grow, Mahesh?
This is going to be the main crop is going to be papaya.
Okay.
And I have started with all kinds of vegetables presently.
Okay.
So all kinds of leafy vegetables and other vegetables as well. And we are going to grow watermelon on a trial basis right now.
Great.
Yeah.
Super. And if we come, honestly, we'll come to your farm.
Yeah, definitely.
How many can be accommodated there?
In what way, like?
No, because if we come, see, we are not going to come and run back to Bombay again. So we'll spend the night out and next morning we'll leave.
We'll have to make some arrangements because right at the moment, only a shed is there.
Yeah,
so
we will get used to the
down
shed.
from morning to evening, you people can stay there. I will be very happy if you can come there. And for that, I think even 8 to 10 people definitely we can.
We are already in our other group. We are about 50 of us who are already given their names and their payment.
Acha.
So by December you will be ready with
December
of this year.
Not December. You don't have to go that far. Probably within the next 3 to 4 months.
No. Our plan is to come in December. Anywhere.
Absolutely no problem.
No problem.
Absolutely no problem. I would be very happy if you people can come. In fact, I was actually thinking where we will be conducting workshops for on organic farming, and we would be making some tents and all for people to come if they want to stay overnight.
Correct. So for us it's just a one night. We land up there at about
no issues. I think by then I would be definitely prepared, fully prepared.
Yeah.
Where we can accommodate you for a night.
One night, just one night. So
no issues at all. No issues.
To see the stars in the sky, on a nice night.
Yes. In fact, we have got somebody from my NGO, Stargazing jo hai.
Yeah.
They are professional people. They do stargazing and all. And we had actually conducted sessions for students.
Wow.
Quite some time back. And they give a lot of insight into our planetary system and all. Very beautiful.
Mahesh, when we plan a visit with you, if you can have these telescope guys come and
Yes, definitely.
We would also be learning, and as we are
it would be an experience of a lifetime. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It would be an experience of a lifetime. I can get in touch with them. We
Yeah.
can make all the arrangements and
do
they
the
will tell
logistics.
us.
I'm telling you, it will be after Diwali, post Diwali.
Yes, definitely.
We'll do
Yes.
that.
And
Liana,
they
what do
will,
you say?
in fact, they will tell us
done. Okay.
They will tell us when to come, because when they tell us the time, on that particular night and all, we can see all the stars and all that, and they will be able
we'll plan it accordingly. Accordingly.
Exactly. We had actually conducted
We'll
some
join
teaching
you from Pune.
Yeah. You can come from Pune with the address.
Yeah, from Pune.
Yes.
We'll all jump up there and.
Yep. Definitely.
The only thing I don't know if none of us told, but Mahesh, I'm very particular about. We can sleep on the floor. We can do everything, but the washrooms have to be clear.
Don't worry. That is what. That is the reason why I told. Give me some time. So by December, everything because I'm going to stay there permanently. Day. So I would be building all these things on a conservative basis.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some 2-3 laborers. I can't tell them to go and do it everything in the open and all. We'll be having.
Yes. So we need very nice washrooms, so that.
Yeah.
That is my first priority. When I go to a place, I look at the washroom.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, so that way, if you do, at least 50 of us will come for sure. Now we have got 51 here.
If you people are going to, if that was going to be the number, I can talk to them, because we have to make some payment for them, and we can definitely share the cost, because see, they come from Pune. They will be coming with all the huge telescopes.
They can come with Ileana. She also from Pune. She's coming. They all can travel together.
Yeah, probably yes.
That we'll plan it out. Now we are in January.
Yes, definitely.
Slowly we'll plan it out, and by October we are there.
We'll be in regular touch now. We'll be in
touch. Because stargazing is one thing, which has always fascinated me.
You just see one session and probably you might recommend to others also.
Yes. So, we let them choose the date.
Yep.
Preferably a weekend, I think, no?
Yes.
The rest of Ileana, what do you say? Weekend is okay, no?
Yeah. That would be a right, this one.
Ilona.
And that will be according to their
Diwali holidays, it's okay because anyway I'm a homemaker, so
okay. For you,
many days is fine.
Okay, Yvonne is also okay.
Diwali holidays anytime.
Yeah.
If I come with my little one, I won't be stargazing.
Yeah, it'll be wonderful, yeah. We all will.
No, it's amazing. Stargazing is
amazing.
Oh no, absolutely, yes. But my little one won't let me do that.
Yeah. We could have a session over there.
No, even the child.
She'll be amazed. Yvonne.
She would be also more interested.
Yeah.
Because if suddenly she sees one
inquisitive
star or something, she sees a shooting star or she sees
such a young age
stars moving, she will suddenly strike her.
Yeah.
She'll be spellbound.
She's just
been asked 10,000 questions.
Oh my God, she's not started speaking yet. So so the questions have not poured in yet. But yes, she's very inquisitive. Like I said, I had whipped up my first batch of raisin and I was just keeping it to dry. She went and she put her hand in and then she had raisin all over and we panicked because it was almost dry. Okay, so it was in that semi-solid kind of a state and we were like, oh no, she spoiled it. And we were like, forget she spoiled it. We were like, oh no, how are we going to get it off from her hand? Because it gets super sticky at that level, when you've kept it to dry for like 6-7 hours, it gets super sticky. And she was like, Mama. I was like, oh God, now how to get it off? And you had to like take that alcohol, that rubbing alcohol, rub it and get it off and stuff. So it was a mess. Yeah, so she's inquisitive. I hope that that inquisitiveness stays and the naughtiness gets minused.
No, the more naughty and the more inquisitive they are, the more intelligent they'll be.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
So let it be. So let it be. You have to live with it. I have 2 sons, and I'm on my toes from morning till the time they go off to bed. So many questions and so many things. And sometimes at the same time, both are trying to say stuff. So hard.
We should not curb their inquisitiveness.
No, I don't.
Yeah, we should let them, learn. That's the only way to learn.
Yeah, no,
true. Only way to learn.
That's the only way to learn.
True.
Get your hands wet. Chalo, we have had a very wonderful session. Thanks, Yvonne, and thanks,
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
everyone. Thank you so much.
Lovely.
Thank you, Roy.
I sometimes keep saying Ileana, sometimes Ilona.
No, it's Ilona. It's Ilona.
Ilona.
Yeah.
If it was I, separate and then L-O-N-E-R.
No, it's L-O-N-A.
Okay.
Anyway, bye-bye, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yvonne.
Come for the next session.
Good night, everybody. Have a nice weekend.
Yes,
Wish you all the same. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Bye.
God bless.
Chalo. Bye. Bye, Pauline.
Yeah.
Mahesh, we'll stay in touch.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
We have each other's numbers. We will stay in touch.
Definitely.
Yeah. Chalo. Bye. Good night. And all the rest of you, Joyce, Angela, Sandra, Doris. Bye.